See if I can go.
We are all
609. That's 6 over 9 as above, so below. Mirror flip from up, down. 6 finger in the ground. Turn the whole world around. So let me see if I can't do some invites. This is just a open Q&A. Just open Q&A. I don't really have nothing to talk about. I just felt like booting up to see if I can go live. And they let me go live, so we live on stage. At Live Aid, all the people gave, and the poor got paid. So y'all bear with me for a minute. I'm doing invites now because I had no intentions on going live. This is spontaneous. I have no particular message to give. But whatever the Q&A lead us to, that's what we're going to be discussing. So, some people, I don't know how many more it's going to let me. I'm going to send many as I can. I've been looking at comments in some of my videos, and when I'm on Brother Rich's channel, I see a lot of people saying I don't give references. And for those people that think I don't give references, you can't judge an interview for a study session. They're not the same thing. I teach with young elder, but I answer questions in interview format with Brother Rich. Different people be looking for different information. If you listen to what I'm saying, I don't have to give a reference. If I'm talking about control remote viewing, go look up control remote viewing. If I'm talking about telepathic communication, you look up telepathic communications, right? If I'm talking about the Van Allen belt and the Pleiadian light lock, go study the Van Allen belt. Just because I'm not giving you the direct sources that I'm drawing from, because a lot of them be psychic sometimes, so I can't give them to you. But everything that I'm saying is researchable. If you stop worrying about me giving you references and start listening to what I'm saying, I won't have to give you a reference because you'll use what I said to guide you to do research and investigation. I don't do debates because they're not relying, everybody's relying on third-party information. Nobody that wrote history is saying they seen it when it happened. They all writing shit down after the fact. So I can write something down after the fact, be it true or not, and be just as valid as all those other people. Because they making it up as they go anyway, because ain't none of this shit real. I'm just going to do a few more because it's letting me do a lot. It used to only let me do a limited number, but now okay, that's enough. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, it's a whole lot of people that be saying the same stuff. I'm not the only one saying what I'm saying. Look, it's chiefs all over the land that know we was already here. It's matriarchs all over the land that know we was already here. What most of us don't know is that a lot of the Native Americans that was brought in under the Dawes Act made treaties with us to be able to sit in our stead, but they had to learn our rituals. A lot of those tribes that we call reservation tribes and reservation Indians, they had a big mama from us, the ones that sided with us. We have to stop letting that divide and conquer of those ones who came as ceremonial tribes. This is how we view them on the land. The tribe that's not a direct blood link is a ceremonial tribe. You have to go back in history. When I tell you that if you don't know who the Moors was fighting from 711 to, I don't know who that is, I ain't gonna answer that, to 1493, 94, when they finally got kicked out of Europe. If you don't know who they took their slaves from and set their slave villages up in Europe, you won't know when it say in the history books and they brought 20 of their servants, 40 of their servants. They brought a cook. They brought their kitchen hands. They brought their skilled trades workers from those slave villages. Rome historically fought the Huns, right? And we know the Huns from Attila the Hun. They fought the Mongolians, which we call them Khans. The Amaru Khans is the allegiance that was made with the ones from over there. And we have to remember, a lot of us very chocolatey rich skin complexion still have from Marion on the West Coast that look that they commonly call Native American look, but you darker. That's because you've been marrying into the tribes from over there since they was darker too. All of these lighter skinned people was Johnny come lately. Not to be a knock on skin color, but skin color is the tool used to enforce the artificial caste system. Now, who else did the Romans and the Greeks fight? They fought the Vedics. They fought what's known as the Barbary Wars. And the Barbary was those coming from the southeast of Rome. Well, you know, Rome is situated in Italy. Southeast is across the Mediterranean, going into what's known as the Indus Valley. So this is where they get your Vedic servants from, captured in warfare, moved to the slave village to add to an admixture of a gene pool in the slave villages. The slave villages was being dismantled by what they call them, inquisitors, as the Spanish Inquisition and the exile from France, Spain, Portugal, Denmark, and all of these places. While they was being kicked out, they were being shipped across the Pillars of Hercules into what's today known as Northwest Africa, Tunisia, Morocco, Libya, right? And they were being sent there first. That's before they came over here and brought their servants with them. Now, when they get over here and they bring in these people, these is the ones that they telling us they gonna replace us with if we don't win the conjure war, snap out of the slumber, and remember we was already here, and that if we don't surrender or submit or abandon our birthright, they can't have it. We don't have to do nothing. All we got to do is let Trump finish tearing it down. So now everybody talking about the 9-star flag, but nobody's mentioned that there's 11 stripes. Right? So it's a 9/11 war flag under the eagle pendant facing to the war zone are the arrows. The arrows represent the tribes, right? And the tribes at war use arrows. Otherwise, he would have had a fistful of rifles. So the war that's being fought is the restoration of the great law. But you had to undo the corporation and restore the republic so that the republic can restore the great law, or what we know in layman's terms as the common law. The common law is the de jure jurisdiction. right? The corporate jurisdiction is the de facto. The de facto government or system is the one that's pretending to be the correct system, but it's not. De facto means the fraud or, in fact, the fact of. And the fact of the matter is that they imposing a jurisdictional override on us because of our ignorance of the law. Therefore, they keep it in the forefront of our minds by reminding us that ignorance is no excuse of the law. Because you don't know the parameters and the guidelines by which you being enslaved, don't mean I got to tell you. I just got to keep it consistent enough for you to figure it out. Yep. Everything unraveling in our face. Trump tearing his home up. He's the liquidator. He's the CEO that comes in to liquidate the assets of the defunct corporation so that the asset can be put where it accurately go in order to pay the creditors for the debt incurred by the corporation. They owe it all to us. That's why when you're going to know the flip, because the bank's going to crash, they're going to close the banks. And when they open the banks back up, they're going to tell you that the national debt is the national debit for the government to restructure and rebuild. And they cover those assets with the confiscated gold that belonged to the people of this land that was being systematically stolen by the Crown of England and the Vatican and their cohorts. So when you don't know who you fighting, you're going to fight everybody, even your allies. So a lot of those, what we call $5 Indians and pretendians, is ceremonially adopted onto the land in order for them to be able to practice and learn our rituals. This is how you can clearly see that 1-2-step method of teaching them how to do what we do by nature. It's natural for us to crip walk, bee walk, jitting. You know, it's natural for us to break dance. That's nothing new to us. It's the old Mississippian cultural fingerprints throughout the society to let you know we ain't never went nowhere. Right? And yeah, King, I wish I could dig him up, bring him back to life so I can murder his ass again. But that's a whole nother animal. So these people, feelings is hurt because Trump telling them y'all immigrants too. How do he know they immigrants if they've been here for 200-300 years? Because they got what's called an isolated gene pool. They gene pool because they only married within their tribe 90% of the time, and the ones who left the reservation and married into the other tribes across the land, they lost their ties to the rest. Therefore, they not recognized as an immigrant no more. They didn't been absorbed into the population at large. And you don't see what's going on, you're going to be attacking people that don't deserve to be attacked. They took a lot of the weight too for this fight for liberation from the colonizers. When they got here, when they telling you people was running away from the slave master, it was them running to us. It wasn't us running to them. That's who the slaves was that came over here. The paleface don't start coming to the mass Ellis Island immigration, and they needed the paleface in order to give us these false characters called white people. When the white people don't mean what you think white people mean. And that's why the trick works so well, because all the time, this nigga that's saying kill whitey is the goddamn white man, and you thinking he your ride or die when he your saboteur. He the one that was sent here in order to keep you from remembering who you was before you were bond servant to somebody for your errant activities on the land. Yep. So that's what they use to keep us from getting into business. Remember, and I keep telling people, pay attention, and they're telling you who we are, but without telling you. We are the largest group of heritable landowners on the land, right? Ever since the system that we call America been in play in this racist doctrine, we weren't allowed to buy property. We weren't allowed to participate in the day-to-day activities of banking. That's why we all had our own banks. We were not allowed to buy goods at wholesale prices. That's why you end up getting trapped and losing a lot of property and sharecropping agreements. But all of this heirs land that we have being blocked out of all of the institutions, where in the hell we get it from? Where we get all of this heritable property if we not from the land? Make it make sense. Where did all of these Negroes with the largest heirs property birthrights in the country? Ain't no pale faces got more heirs land in America than people that look like me. So where in the hell did we get the land when we weren't allowed to purchase the land? We weren't allowed to participate in banking, but we making sharecropping agreements, losing land to the financiers or the bankers of the sharecropping institution of mortgages. Where we get the land? Who gave us the land? Where did we buy it at? There's no record of us buying it. It's only a record of us always being on it. They can't say that your great-great-grandfather and all that land he had, they can't tell you where he got it, who he bought it from. There's no deed that preceded him. There's nobody who held the land longer than us without people knowing where we get the land from. You have to analyze what they're telling you. You can't be the largest heritable land recipients without having some kind of structure that proves that you are heritable on the land. Look this stuff up. Look up the largest heirs property owners in America. It's us. Where did we get the land when nobody was allowed to sell it to us? And then when the paleface came, they was giving them large plots of land under the salvage and squatters' rights. And then they was giving them financial incentives to mechanize their farms and to hire hands to help. Now we getting hired because we lost it in the sharecropping agreement, probably, or not. They just wrote the paperwork and said it was theirs. This is the hardest thing for us to get through our head. But once we get this part, that the only way we can have as much heirs property as they claim, we have to be the original heirs on the land. And they have to be aware of this. Now remember, the other people was just ceremonial tribes. They was like, we hired them to perform certain rituals on the land that we don't want interrupted during the conflict. So we teach it to them using the 1-2-step method, the same way you teach the hustle, the same way you teach square dance. But once they get the dances down and they can perform them, they become a full ceremonial tribe. We are spirit brothers, according to the elders of the land. If they maintain our rituals, stop fighting them people. They ain't the ones that we supposed to be fighting. It's these niggas that look like us, that ain't us, that keep trying to convince us that we not from here when we been here. And we invited all of the people here that's supposed to be here that may not genetically be tied to the land as ceremonial support systems. You got to remember, it's 12 mitochondrial lines, 13 actually. The main line is what we call the Isis line. That's the 13th mitochondrial, all of the females' genome exists through that bloodline. Then you have what's known as the 12 daughters of Isis, often referred to in modern mysticism as the sisters of Eve or the daughters of Eve. This is because they don't want you to know the original Earth tribes, all of us was melanated to one degree or another, but our melanin didn't take on the colors of the shades of brown because we was magnesium source metallic conversion, and now we iron based metallic conversion, and it rust is brown or orangish color, but the magnesium tarnishes and becomes shades of blue and green, right? So we don't remember that. That's why that racism shit works so well. A lot of them people was being turned blue, where you get your Smurf story from, in the Appalachian Mountains with the silver water for sunscreen. But we don't know the culture of the land, and we don't know how we used to treat conditions of the foreigners that came. So if you don't know what we used to do, you don't know what is these stories telling you. They telling us the history, but they ain't telling us in the history class. They telling us in arts and entertainment. They telling us in the music, right? Because they know we not gonna trust the politicians. They already know this because they all slime balls, puppets, and all of them is controlled from somewhere else. Somebody else control every politician in on the land. Now, the only place where you get where the people actually have control is what you call grassroots politics. That means your local government, your city council, your mayor, your sheriff. That's it. Police don't supposed to be here. They're slave catchers. The sheriff is supposed to be elected from among the people, with the one with the most skills to be able to maintain order on the land with the least amount of resistance. The more skilled that the person is, the more likely he is to get elected as sheriff or sharif. Right? The birthright heir sharif on the land is Peastone Chief Malik Angel Bay. He is the blood right heir to enforce the rules of the mother's house, the Red House. And the rules of the Red House is how to regulate the land. That's his job, what he was born to do. He was held incapacitated as a bond servant by the corporate entity called the United States under a doctrine of COINTELPRO tied to a sub-doctrine called Readiness Exercise 1984. And the wall is the trigger to tell you how to activate it. And the wall is 45, right? That Desert Eagle. And the 45 is Trump. Trump sounds the trumpet, right? To let you know that the law had to be restored on the land in order to put the lawman back on the land. So first they had to tear down the corporation, remove the admiralty jurisdiction, go to the jurisdiction of the republic. Then they had to flip from the peacetime seal to the wartime seal, because the peacetime seal is really a fraud time seal. The fraud is the illusion of peace while we ain't never not been at war. Ever since these people came over here, there's not a 20-year stretch where there's not a major war going on that they got their nose in. They got their nose in every hog killing come up, and we taking the credit for it because we not stepping up and saying enough is enough. You ain't got to do no marching. Divorce yourself from the system. But you got to do it in mass. Everybody got to participate that know who they are. The ones who don't know who they are, you can't expect them to be no good for nothing, no way. They already confused, lost in the sauce. Right? So we got all of the mental power and prowess to restore everything on the land. We have the leaderships and the councils of elders capable of giving us wise advice to overcome the opposition before us, but we first got to take them back from the invaders who's squatting on the land, masquerading as our government and as our law and law enforcement. None of them got nothing to do with us. All of them are foreign agents representing the foreign body politic under the power, auspices, authority, and jurisdiction of the Vatican and the Crown of England. The other ones lost their right. The French, the Spanish, they lost their rights in this war for America a long time ago. But believe me, they came first as gentry, right? When you go look and you look at the garb of the ones who claim to have purchased Manhattan for trinkets, they was wearing knickerbockers. You can't never forget that, because knickerbockers is a form or article of clothing that's not from over here. We never wore knickerbockers. We didn't wear buckle shoes. We wore moccasins, we wore leather bottom shoes, but they wasn't those box shoes with that big ass belt buckle on them either. That was European. So go back and look at the seals of New York, the seals of each one of the boroughs, and it'll tell you that you were being deceived into believing that you lost your land when you can't lose your land as long as you live on it. Shout out ODB, Old Dirty Bastard, Chief Crazy Horse, the baddest to ever do it. Shout out to the big Christopher Wallace, notorious sitting bull, sitting on his post. Took that public lashing like a man. Shouldn't have never let the enemy come in. Shout out to Tupac Amaru, motherfucker, ride or die. Da 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 da. For publicly lashing the chief that sat on the post while the rest of the chiefs was being blindsided and subjugated. Shout out to Raekwon the chief, aka Raekwon the chef. Shout out to the killer priest. Keep on killing them with the knowledge of self. You know what I'm saying? All these chiefs involved in this shit, we ain't all part of the same motherfucking clan, but we all part of the same motherfucking land. And when we realize that the enemy is just trying to get us convinced that we don't belong on our own land, all we got to do is stand together like the band of the hand. You dig? Now that's a black power fist for you. Knock your motherfucking ass straight. Yeah. So look, go back to the Harriet Tubman story. There's a famous quote from Harriet Tubman, and I want y'all to analyze this for a minute. She said, I could have saved more slaves had they known they were slaves. Let that marinate for a minute. Go back to what we said earlier about the heirs' property in the heritable lands, right? And then remember what she said. If they knew they were slaves, I could have saved more of them. They didn't know they were slaves. What did they think they were if they didn't think they were slaves? Right? What did they think they were? Did they think they was what? They thought they was in Brazil? What they thought they were, what they was doing at that place they called the plantation. Right? Think about that for a minute. She could have saved more slaves had they known they were slaves. Listen, when you go back and read, now remember, they wasn't allowed to teach us to read or write. They wasn't allowed to sell us any property. They not allowed to do banking with us. They robbing Big Mama banks as outlaws to shut them down. And we had the largest heirs property out of any other ethnic group on the land. And they don't know they slaves. Remember that part. Now, remember, before it was called the Big House, it was called Big Mama House, and it was the family farm and the family headquarters. So she's going to save somebody from being a slave from their family farm that's been infiltrated. But that's why they don't know they slaves. They don't know they slaves because they living on their heirs' land, and their heirs' land is being ran by a foreigner. I could have saved more of them had they known they were slaves. They wasn't slaves. A prisoner of war. They were enslaved, and being a slave is not the same thing. Being captured as the spoils of war and being a slave is not the same thing if you don't never stop fighting. Okay, now reclassification comes in, right? Everything is handed down on the land through the mother's line. The heritable heirs' rights comes through the mother's line of heritability, right? This is why they want you to tie to a nationality, because you tie into your status as black in law or civilly mortis as a national, because they saying that the Plymouth wreck caused all of the ships that was docked across the land, so to speak, which was the sea to shiny sea concept of the song. The sea to shiny sea was the expanse of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction over the land to connect the Atlantic and Pacific boundary lines and tie them together. We ain't paying attention. We just think we is. And then if some crazy nigga like Rod Hayes come along and say, have y'all noticed this and gave it any thought? Let's examine this for a minute. All of the tribes over here, the male chiefs protected the clan, and the female chiefs gave him the criteria by which they knew that they need to be protected. Right? So if we didn't have a matriarchal council to see what was morally repugnant to us as a collective, then the chief had to figure it out on his own. We had war. Everybody got a piece. Everybody got a position. Everybody have to play their part in order for all of us to win as a collective. This is how you get one tribe marching the totem pole across the land, well, several tribes posting that to reclaim DC in 2017. Then you have me giving them in 2019 public notices to cancel the contracts for treaty contracts for fraud and non-performance. Then you got Empress Redbird receiving the paperwork to verify that my part was done, tying me and her together in this struggle. Then you got Sipico, who put the Pope on public notice about the no longer following Vatican rule, going back to the Great Law. The Pope gives her a response by repealing the discovery doctrine, which is the foundational instrument of the slave system. Then we had the J16 committee, the shaman, one of the chiefs from the land, sent in the ceremonial shaman to occupy the Pelosi seat with a Republic flag behind the Admiralty flag in order for the Republic to seize it back from the water. Now it's back to the jurisdiction of the land, right? So you got a whole bunch of different tribes. You got the ceremonial Muskogee Creek under the direction of the Muskogee Creek, the Washita, and a few other clans, serving public notice on Atlanta and Cop City and the surrounding area. See, we be forgetting about that stuff, but we so busy trying to tell people who got rights to the land that we are stepping on allies in reckless behavior, right? We ain't worried about the allies. We worried about the enemies. We worried about the ones that's been infiltrating us, turning us against each other from the inside out. If you tear down a house divided, can't stand. Right? So stop fighting them people. They came here to give you aid and assistance, and you can tell by how impoverished their reservation was. If they don't have no casinos, they did not take sides with the enemy. Telling you that now. If they don't got casinos and they ain't getting no fat ass check from the government without having to work, they did not take sides with the enemy. Stop fighting them. Stop fighting them. That's the wrong fight. The ones who took sides with the enemy that like to drive in their $250,000 cars wearing their $1,800 suits with their $5,000 gator skin shoes on, that live in upstate gated communities off the res, them the ones you need to be worried about. They ain't worried because they know that when you figure it out, you're going to attack the ones that look like them that came to help us. All of them didn't come to help, and all of them didn't come to hurt. It's two sides to this, the righteous and the unrighteous. Look at how the government treat the tribe, and you will know if the government have any respect for them or if they made an allegiance with us. This is why you had them all in Seminole Wars. They keep trying to tell y'all that we was the runaway slaves that joined the Seminole Resistance. No, we wasn't. We was old Mississippian chiefs. We was old Alibaba chiefs from Alabama. We was Razorback chiefs coming in to fight this war and run these motherfuckers off the land. And we ran into a situation where we was losing too many casualties on both sides. Ceasefire, conjure war, who gonna educate themselves above the condition, or who gonna allow themselves to be drowned in the dogma of the false doctrines. That's it. This is just that simple. Stop with the divide and conquer. We had the Irish Republic Army. We was sending them support over there to overthrow motherfuckers too. And they was sending us support over here when we was fighting England. They was fighting them too. The Irish has been one of the biggest allies to the tribes over here. And this is why they had free run of the Appalachians. That's where they wanted to set up their tribal camps. And now we treating them like they didn't fight on our behalf because the enemy got us thinking anybody that ain't dark as me or darker is the enemy, and nothing can be further for the truth. Look, Chief Warhorse darker than me, but my hair is nappy. Hers is straight, naturally. I got a nephew that got naturally straight hair, and he's chocolate, darker than me. My brother over me got curly hair like a Puerto Rican. My brother under me hair, nappy like mine, but it's red. We got it all in the tribes. It's in the blood. We got the oldest blood and the representation in our blood of every clan on the planet. It's every woman with mitochondria on this planet has an uninterrupted mitochondrial line back to one of 12 or 13 women. The original bloodlines of the earth, the Grail blood, is the holy bloods of the great mothers, plural. The 13 tribes, which was the 12 daughters of Isis and her tribe. Isis had a set, and her 12 daughters all gave to different phenotypes, skin complexions, hair textures, heights. These daughters of Isis is the mothers of the earth, and they come in all skin tones. And we be fighting over the doctrines of men as if they some holy truth when they some holy bullshit. Even a lot of the pale-faced Jews took sides with us. We have a conjure woman in California. She's a Jewish lady. Been doing this for over 50 years, named Catherine Yorwood. But she was given and entrusted the secrets by elders in our community in order to give it back to us as our teacher. And then when we see her, we act like we can't read the doctrine she given us to know if she was sanctioned by a big mama on the land. Because we don't know how to look at that stuff no more. Because the 12-step detox from thinking that they call school and effed us up. All of the Irish ain't even yellow. Some of them by my complexion. The daughters of Scotia, they was with freckles. They was chocolate with freckles or caramel with freckles and red hair, auburn red hair. And the daughter of Scotta was buttermilk complexion with fiery red hair. They still do a red hair festival, daughters of Scotta, to this day in Ireland. So anybody want to come up and chop it up with the chief? I'm about to let y'all up. If y'all wanna chat. If you do, just send me a request and I'll let you up. Look here, is this it? Okay, I don't got no requests so far. Oh, there go one. A lot of us don't know. Like that purple tint, that's the same way that the chlorophyll affect purple grapes. Is the same way that you have those people that be purple black. They don't really be black. They be shades of blue, which is the purple shade, which is an old bloodline. Mm-hmm. And we done been smashed these mofos. We gotta watch the rollout while they tearing it apart in our face, and people having tizzy fits because they don't know what's going on. Davion, they ain't letting you up. It say adding on there, but you ain't came up yet. Um, okay. James Taylor, I'm gonna try you now. Look, I told y'all they have to start. She asked me about the planes. They have to cause chaos on their way out. The more chaos they cause, the closer we know to their final exposure. They creating, kicking, and screaming on the way out. They go try to create all of the panic they can, but we not panicking no more because we see all this BS coming. Sam, I don't know when we gonna see the three chiefs. I just know that we still in closing everything out because the work that Trump doing is showing us that we still had a ways to go. He done signed 50 executive orders already or more. Revolution will not be televised, but it's showing the fuck gonna play out on social media. Yeah, the division is the horrible thing. Look, even the Mexicans, right? You got different groups of Mexican that identify with different people. You got the ones that identify with the tribes. Then you got the ones who identify. Then you got the ones who identify with the Spaniard. Those the ones you got to be leery of. Them the ones that's gonna cut your throat, cross out artists, right? Then you have those that's they not ethnically taking sides, but they philosophically taking sides with some political agenda or jargon somewhere. I didn't watch the Super Bowl performance, but I seen a couple of good breakdowns on it. Yeah. Y'all gotta make sure y'all check if y'all trying to get up. Because I'm sending out invites for people to come in, but I'm not getting no responses. There we go. What's going on with you?
Hey, what's up, Chief? How you been?
Pretty good. I can't see you. Can y'all see him? If y'all can see him, we're gonna continue. Say in the comments. Put some ones
I
in the
can't see
comments. If
you.
you can't see me.
Nah, you disappeared.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably fake book doing that. They can see us. So as long as they
All right.
can see us, we can chop it up. So what's on your mind, player? What you want to talk about?
Well, a few things on my mind. I was just wondering, you know, I, the brothers like me that don't know a whole lot that want to, lend a hand and be useful. Where can I fit in this? You know what I'm saying? Because man, I don't want to be, like not useful sitting on the sideline.
Well, you got to know what your skills are so you can know how you're useful. Everybody is useful to the struggle. Some when you don't know what to do, then teach the ones closest to you first. The ones willing to listen, because they're close to us don't mean they're willing to listen.
Yeah, it's hard to it's hard to tell. Some people they definitely stuck in their ways.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but start with the youngsters.
yeah.
Yeah, start with the youngsters. And a chief building exercise is reaching out to family members. You know you related to them, but you ain't had a conversation yet. Just to have a conversation. It don't even have to be about nothing but exchanging how y'all related. But as long as you making those connections across family lines, you building a stronger family bond. You just taking the
Right,
lead to be the one in the middle as the glue.
right. Uh, and one more question now. I started this radiation last week, and I don't know. I've been in a lot of pain, but they said this is the only way to control this disease. Do you think I should, like trust in them or? Mm,
Right. Look, if you taking radiation, for me, that's a red flag. I can't, I'm not your herbalist, so I can't sit there and give you the step by step tools to combat the illness, right? So I
hmm.
can't tell you, all I can really tell you and be truthful with you is go review your situation, look at what you're dealing with, look at your options, and based on all of your conditions, then you make the best decision with the information you reviewed. That's the best you can do. You can't do no better than that. I'm not there with you to, you know, be hands on with you to determine if you need to follow through with it or not. I can't tell you that. I could be setting you up for failure, and I don't want you to fail.
Right.
So you just have to make the decision that you think is best for you.
All right.
You ain't
I
calling
appreciate you, man. I just be wondering a whole lot about this situation. Is the Crystal City coming?
I do tell
What's
you
the
this, but
timeline on this?
yeah, I can't give you the time, the dates. If I did, I'd have
Mm.
been dropped them motherfuckers, and I'd be counting them as they coming.
Yeah, cause man, it's been wild around here lately. A lot
Now,
of shootings going
I,
on in my little bitty town. There's a lot of shootings going on, and it's just wild.
mhm. That show you that the elders is disconnected from the youth. That's all that means.
Ah, yeah, we have no structure around here, none.
Well, maybe you should start doing free classes on building family structures. Start teaching
That's a
in
good
your
idea.
in your area. It's the same way. Set up the family like you setting up a corporation. Everybody job for the family is what their skill set already is.
Mm-hmm.
You
know. Nice. All right, I appreciate your time, Chief. Man, I just be wondering a whole lot. I'm glad you picked me up and let me have a couple words. I appreciate you.
Oh, ain't no problem, my brother. Ain't no problem. I'm gonna let you drop down and take the next one.
All right, much love, G.
All right, peace. Aaron. Okay, Aaron, to say you ain't want to come up. Kimmy. Said Aaron. I think that all the boys should have military school as part of their basic education because it teaches them the discipline. We not getting proper discipline. It teaches them conduct, how to carry themselves and have self-control.
Hey,
how you doing,
how
sweetie?
you doing, Rod? Gratitude to you.
Gratitude to you. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
And you can hear me too. So I'm in the middle of Georgia area. So with me, it's like when I first saw you, I knew that your spirit was fire and your soul is a mofo. That's the energy that I got from you. So I knew you were legit because the things I've been doing for a long time. So, and now as I got older, it's kicking in like on overdrive. And I try to keep myself peaceful and just mellow because I know that it's so much mess going on out here, and it can rattle your spirit and your soul. So I just try to stay cool. I'm cool and I'm good with everybody, and with me, I have like visions. And like you remember when they had the eclipse, I think it was last year. Okay, when I was meditating, I saw like white specks floating around. And then all of a sudden I seen like a dragon with red eyes. And it made me feel at peace.
What color was the dragon? A white dragon with red eyes. Okay, go ahead. What you saying?
And I thought, well, in my conscious mind, I'm thinking, okay, this kind of scary. But with my energy, the way I felt, it felt like I was at peace, and it was like calming me down and reassuring me that everything's gonna be okay, and that this is just the next chapter for whatever's supposed to happen for me and for everybody, really. So with me, I'm just waiting on. I just got my popcorn ready. I kind of feel like I know what's going on, and I'm just sitting back and just looking, because I mean, there's no point of being upset with anybody, fussing and arguing with these people. You know what I'm saying? Your spirit and your soul know the truth. It don't matter what nobody tell you. Your spirit and your soul know the truth. And there's a lot of people out here with souls, and it's not a lot of people out here with good spirit. So I understand that. So, I know how to navigate and get around people. But my clan here is in Little Georgia is the William clan. So it's like from the research me and my sister been doing, we've been finding out like so much going, like as far as with the Williams. I heard Young L, he was talking about something on his show he was talking about the Williams, and he was talking about Dr. York. And I remember him saying something about Dr. York's mother was a William. But I couldn't remember. Do you remember what he said her name was?
Dr. York mom. Her name was Mary, but I don't remember what her maiden name was. I know she got married. She got married to a guy whose last name was York. That's just all they took that on as a family name. But he mentioned Williams being in his ancestry. I got Williams in my ancestry on my father's side, but I haven't never met the ones that my father knows related
like the
to.
Williams on my family side, on my dad's side, they had a lot of kids, like at least 16, 17 kids. And like my great grandmother, she was like the baby. And she was born like in the early 1900s. So everybody else is at least from I say from like 1920 on down. So I think the
elder surname was Mary C. Williams was
Mary,
her
I have
name.
a Mary in my I have a Mary in that line. I remember him saying either Mary or Katie. He was saying something like that, but I couldn't remember. And I tried to get in contact with him, call like that when he said that, that really made me feel connected.
Young elder in the comments.
What's up, El? But yeah, when he said that, that really made me feel like I'm connected some type of way. When he was explaining to it, explaining it in the area, the same area and all. So I was like, okay, it's kind of getting weird, but it's weird in a good way.
Yeah. So the name Washita became the English surname Washington. The tribal name Tunica became Turner. A lot of the other tribal names became last name, like Cleveland Indians. They did one of the biggest clans. They took on the title of Brown as a last name. This is why your mascot is the Cleveland Browns for football, because the Browns was the largest clan in the Ohio Valley.
Well, I got one question, Rod. Okay, like with my lineage, was it something going on like up in like Detroit or Ohio area? Because from what I looked at, my people were going back and forth, and I mean they were going back and forth up there like in the 1800s.
Yeah, we was fighting the French. We was fighting the French, and then we started fighting the English when they called this the Northwest Territory, and they came to settle the Northwest Territory, which is today Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. That was the Northwest Territory, right? Because remember, they didn't just start on the East Coast and popped up the next day and they was out west. They gradually developed the lines of demarcation, and they fought tribes all the way across the land to set their structures up using our major cities. None of these major cities is new like they trying to make them out to be. Jean-Baptiste de Sable did not discover Chicago. Chicago is ancient. It was always there. New York is ancient. Them tribes in New York, they one of some of the best tribes you will meet until you get on their bad side, and then they're the worst tribes you want to run across, because they will leave you floating in the Hudson Bay or whatever the hell that river that runs through there is. They will leave your ass floating in there if you get too out of hand. But right now, we had to educate ourselves out of the condition. So that tied their hands from ousting the colonizers from New York, because they have to educate themselves too. This is what the cause of the Harlem Renaissance wasn't just the music and the dance and the nightlife. It was also education. It was the introduction of Arthur Schomburg teaching the brothers in the five boroughs the history that they were being denied in the institutions of this country.
Okay. So what about okay, as far as with the people with when they talk about the Trail of Tears, right? Like on my mom's side, my people been in Bolingbrook, Monroe County, Smar, Georgia. They've been in that area since like 1850 something. And they never left. So when people say we were slaves and we all left and with the Trail of Tears and stuff like that, my people been in the same area, they never left. Like, and well, with my grandmother, she always said this was our land anyway.
That's why the South have the largest concentration of us, and it had nothing to do with slavery. All of our family farms was in the South. And the tribes across the land would make pilgrimages back to help harvest the crops and to stock up canned goods, to butcher the animals to be sent out to the families for the area where they have food. It was a co-op. Everything was a cooperative, and this is what the colonizers broke up when they came. We trying to get the people to wake up enough so that we can reinstitute the family farm co-ops. So you got them teenage boys that don't got nothing to do. They can't gonna be hanging on the corner because they got to go down at harvest time and help pick the goddamn food for the year. The grocery stores are not gonna be here. They're gonna be gone because the GMO foods is gonna be gone. The grocery stores was the way to get GMO foods into the mainstream dietary program to kill us off faster. They want us to die so early that we don't wake up to who we are. And this is why they promote what they call black on black violence and all of that stuff. Is the faster we die, the less likely we are to recall who we are before death and assert our jurisdictional birthright to restore the land back to the matriarchy, back to the mothers of the country, the mothers of the land. The heritable birthrights comes through mitochondrial DNA. The women of America's mitochondrial DNA can be traced right back down into that Mississippi clay dirt or that Amazonian clay dirt. It don't matter which side of the Gulf you go. We still have that continuous existence all the way around that fertile crescent called the Gulf. Our bloodline spring from that crescent. That's what your crescent moon is in Islam. It symbolizes the fertile crescent. The moon is the clock for planting harvest based off the menstrual cycles of the women. So the woman can use her menstrual cycle to tell you better when harvest coming than goddamn using the almanac. She got to be in tune with herself though.
See, that was like with my great grandma. My great grandma, she died in 2014, and she was 105. So she lived by that almanac.
Yeah. So they told us that Benjamin Banneker was the first one to write an almanac. We didn't have to write it. We had it memorized.
It was in the energy. We felt it. We knew when it was time to do what we needed to do.
Yeah. So what we call the Sybil effect, when women start sinking, they're gonna sink to harvest time. Most of the babies, when the babies start being born for the upcoming year, they're gonna be born around either planting season or harvest season. Babies is normally born
Yep.
when the food is going to be bountiful,
More nutrition.
right? So the women, yeah, so the ovulation will sync to the environment, and then that'll tell us what the weather going to be. We can tell by the number of women mid-term, we'll know how to calculate harvest from that. When the most of them is mid-term around the same time, we know that these women supposed to give birth at harvest time or right around harvest time. So you got let's say 60% of the women due to give birth between June and August. We know that the harvest is going to have to take place sometime between
Well, I'm a
June and
June
August.
baby, so I kind of felt that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's all being the women used to be so in tune with their body and the earth at the same time that Big Mama wake up and she'd say, "Hey, you know what, Big Papa, we need to get them planting." And all of the wives across the country start packing bags for lunch sending the kids that's gonna help harvest the food to go for harvest. They don't know. Big Mama
Oh,
ain't picked up the damn phone, called nobody. But y'all was that in tune to earth and to body self that y'all automatically knew when Big Mama said harvest was coming up. You felt it so strong, you just automatically knew what to do. We didn't got so disconnected from our culture that we forgot about that stuff because we depended on all of the technological advancements to override our intuition and our natural ability to read the land by how we
well,
feel.
I didn't forget. I'm a country girl, so I mean, I've been driving tractors since I was like 7, 8 years old. I know how to drive tractors, I know how to drive,
Mm-hmm.
operate bush hogs and backhoes and track holes and all that. I know how I love to fish, so I'm on mine. I don't know about nobody else's, but I'm on mine.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
nature, so that's a good
And
thing
you
too.
gonna have to
But I wanna thank you
and you
for allowing me to grace the stage, and it's a lot of other stuff I want to get back in with you with, but I don't think I need to talk about it around a lot of people. But
well just inbox me and I'll tell you what to do.
got you. Gratitude
Right.
and love and light, babe. You
All right. Thank you,
welcome.
sweetie.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you later. Yeah, that's good. Talking to an old country girl. Rambo. You know, Fairkind generally give a report either through the final call or one of the ministers about the Nation of Islam farms, and they are setting up a lot of stuff to sell us our own produce, bypassing the GMO big pharma. Make sure if y'all ask to come up that y'all check, because I'm definitely trying to let y'all come up. Aaron, yeah, when we had cultural festivals, we used to send delegations to the islands for their big mama, and we take large sums of our produce that they don't generally grow in the islands, and then they big mama would send us back island delicacies that we didn't normally grow on the mainland. So everybody got different foodstuffs that we used to trade in out of just basic respect, and it had nothing to do with economics. All food trade now is tied to economics, but our food was tied toward family bonding um, and displays of unity among the clans. Yeah, I think everybody should have a community garden if it's possible. Some cities don't allow them. They got because they don't want you growing no food that they don't control and poison. But we all need community gardens. People need to have gardens. Okay, so that one didn't come up. My OG right here. Make sure y'all checking if y'all actually come up because I'm sending them out. You know, there we go. What's up, Chief?
Peace, Big Chief. Can you
What,
see me?
what's going?
Okay.
I can't see you, but that's Facebook doing that.
Yeah. Hey man, dropping it tonight. Woo. Thank you. As always.
Yes, sir.
You know, you be squeegee in this joint right here, you know what I mean? And this too, man. How you pointed out that just check out the economic situation of, you know, those living on the reservations. You can tell how the government feels about them and that they whose side they're on. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff with unity with the Jewish woman who was given. So thank you for that, man. Always present a perspective to move us forward, man. Just, you know, it's always an honor. You know.
You ever see the protests of the missing Native girls and they got the red hand painted on their face?
Yes.
Symbol of the bloody hand that stole the women.
Hmm.
Same bloody hand, the black hand, the same motherfuckers. Same. They was fighting them like we was fighting them. They didn't come over here voluntarily. They was forced over here. Same way they told you Africans was brought over here. The Africans wasn't brought over here. Those was Mongolians, Vedics, and Huns that formed these secondary tribes, these ceremonial tribes. We can't be going to war with them because we just taken away from the extended power base that we can be using by embracing each other. They came to help us. And
extended power base.
If you don't pay attention to the economics and where the government is, who the government is giving money to, you don't know your enemy from your ally. And now you're attacking your ally thinking he's the enemy.
That's right. So, you know, even how you pointed it out with the Mexicans, that was a master class on knowing when is the race and racism and pointing out really the confusion, because it's easy to give over the hate and the narrative, like, you know, the Mexicans.
When they got us thinking that we victims, right? Anybody else that's being victimized don't hurt worse than me.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna fight them for telling me about their victimization because I'm gonna feel like they saying that their victimization is more important than mine is. So this gonna automatically make us in a conflict. But the reality is the victim is the victim. No matter what make them the victim is they didn't want to be. As long as they don't want to be, right? Then and they being forced to do something they don't want to do, that make them victims too.
True.
Right? We telling the Mexicans they illegal immigrants for coming back to Mexico. California is part of Mexico. Nevada, right? Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, what is it, Utah? All that was not Utah, Oklahoma, I think. But all of that was part of Mexico until they annexed it. The U.S. corporation annexed it after the Mesoamerican War. Most people don't even know America fought a war with Mexico.
Yeah, you poked a hole in the slave narrative. I think it was on Unscrambled Minds when you went into the fallacy of Juneteenth.
You got to remember, they declared Juneteenth from Texas. Texas didn't have slavery at the time they declared Juneteenth. Texas was Mexico at the time. They had already been outlawed slavery in Mexico long before Juneteenth.
Right, and it was our culture for already the barbecue and whatnot, you know, just to make money off of it. So
the whole Juneteenth is the hijacking of a cultural phenomenon and that gave us something called a pit master. The pit master was cooking in the fire pits. They say that somebody else brought us barbecue. BS. We've been barbecuing longer than barbecue been here.
That's right. Yeah, I learned how to
We
barbecue
invented it.
hogs from my great uncle. You know what I'm saying? And my Uncle Buck. Build a pit out of cinder blocks, you know.
Yeah.
And he always said the secret was the earth, because you just use charcoal in the earth. Man, just with salt, no barbecue sauce on it or nothing, man, that was some of the best meat I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. But it's
all of our
always
culture's still here. They monetized the parts of our culture they couldn't purge. They monetized it. Thanksgiving is not a European holiday. Black Friday is a European celebration of a mass slaughter. But the Thanksgiving Day celebration is a tribal celebration that long predated Columbus. That's why they call it a pagan holiday. Everything that they call pagan mean that it goes back to Pangea.
Look into it a little bit more. There's something hidden in there that he hiding from us. Yeah.
Look, and we used to have corn festivals. The corn festival was the most celebrated of the harvests. And everybody didn't grow the same. Corn didn't look alike. You had the priestesses of Oshun grew the golden corn. That was it. The other people grew ruby corn, what they call Indian corn. They had the purple corn. Different kinds of corn that they made different dishes out of. This is why when you look at Southwestern cuisine, you see most of it is fresh vegetables chopped up with some kind of liquid binding agent like a salad dressing or a vinaigrette. Some of them might use lemon juice or whatever, like in sauces and whatnot. Some of them simmer them down. That's because they was canning them, but the fresh one was the best ones.
Got a question for you, Chief. When Donald Trump signed the executive order recognizing the Lumbee from North Carolina, what did that signify? And tell us about the moves that he's making for, like you say on the cover of the continuity government for FEMA, that it includes tribal participation in what we're seeing. Because like just in my mindset, am I right that I don't need federal, or we don't need federal recognition to exist? So what is that? What was being said in that move?
So when you got to remember, everything Trump doing is to undo the corporation.
Right.
The recognition of the Lumbee tribe, they've been fighting both the real Lumbee tribe. I forgot what that brother name is, but you seen he by my complexion, and then he be having his face painted red and black. He the real Lumbee chief.
You talking about? Okay, I got you. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
He's the real Lumbee chief. He's the one. If you're gonna recognize the Lumbee tribe, you got to go talk to him.
Right.
Any other Lumbee tribe is either ceremonial or imposters. But in the recognition of the right Lumbee tribe, and they also having discussions about Cherokee tribes too, because the Cherokees is really a group of tribes. This is why they all got different heritable claims, because they all come from different tribes that they inherit their birthright from. The government is aware of everything that I'm saying. It's just that they don't want us to know it and talk about it openly in the public like this, because it what they call put salt in their game. I'm trying to make it so salty and bitter that they can't take it no more.
Sprinkle. I hear you. All right. And then one more question, and let somebody else get up in. It's always an honor, man, to listen to you do what you do.
Where my boy at?
Oh, he up in there, man. He worked a 12-hour shift. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of dark. He's just sitting in the dark, probably talking to his lady. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What's going on with you, Chief?
Hey, man.
And step on in here so So can you, like I'm showing up on the screen, but here he is right here.
Yeah, I can't see Jack over here, but the people can see y'all.
Okay, yeah, that's my son.
I can't call it. I'm just sitting here with Bitmo. You know what I mean?
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I told
right
him, look, hey, I told your pops, I said, tell him to stick his head under that chick arm and don't come out till this shit over.
That's right.
No, I'm sitting in there.
Too.
I was about to say, I'm sitting in there listening to every word, man. That night, I don't know if you remember the night that y'all got on the phone, maybe about 2-3 weeks ago. It was real late, and I was already in bed, and I started to go listen to some Dr. York, but then I heard your voice, and his phone loud, so, and then you got a deep voice, so it travels, so it was kind of like I had you in my right ear, and I had Doc in my left ear. And I was like, man, let me go ahead and see what Rod's talking about. So I paused it, and I was like, damn, them motherfuckers been on the phone for a minute, but you was dropping jewels. So I was just laying in my bed and listening, damn, he know what the fuck going on. So thank you. Like he said, man, like you couldn't have worded that better, Dad, just how much of an honor it is to listen to the information that you present. Like, I don't take that shit for granted, yo. Like, the way that you present it with that same little flair of like knowing exactly what you're talking about, but then know how to make it sound funny, sound cool, all at the same time. That shit's a blessing to see. So thank you for everything, man. And I can't wait till this shit over with, man. Like I say, I just be trying to use my third eye to see motherfuckers like you and Doc just sitting back, relaxing, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? All the kids running around, some good food getting cooked up, all this bullshit comes to an end. That's why I try and use my mental projection for it. So I can't wait to see that come to fruition.
Oh, you gotta do what?
Sitting under that chick arm until this shit over with.
You got some good orders.
Yeah, for real. No
Hey, look, I can't wait till it's my turn to rest on some breasts.
Yeah. I'm probably
nice sets in the West. These niggas is a mess.
That's right. Living heavy.
It seemed overdue, man. When this shit gonna pop?
It's popping. It ain't popping as fast as I want it to. And probably if it ain't moving fast enough for me, then it's not moving fast enough for most people. But we watching it being dismantled, it's being done in our face, and ain't no secret.
Yeah.
One of the things they had to find is, okay, you said that we had this much money. Where the money at? Show me the money. So Elon said, don't worry about it. Trump, can I go show them what these people did with the money? He said, go right on ahead, Elon. Just don't do nothing I don't tell you to do. So they sent him in there. Now they telling us where all the money, and all the Democrats are having full-fledged nervous breakdown that they being audited for the first time since they've been there. Ain't nobody decided to audit them but Donald J. I wonder why that is.
That's the truth.
You got to catalog all of your resources and assets in order to liquidate the bank.
Liquidate. That's right.
Remember, the Pope called all the money back in 2020.
Yeah, that's right.
And he been got out the game.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Faces. You said Babylon failed. That's the truth.
And yeah, you remember this song by the Ghetto Boys called "Money in the Power"?
No, I don't think I heard that. I'm gonna check it out though.
You gotta listen to it.
No boy. Money. What is it called again?
Money in the Power.
Money in the Power. I'm gonna check that out. But the other question I wanted to ask, one of the last things that with the Biden administration was the release of Leonard Peltier. I think is how you pronounce his last name, from the AIM, and I want to say it was at Wounded Knee, right?
Out of Florida, they say he had shot them feds.
Okay, right. What was I thought that was, he did, like Joe Biden did that, like with hours left for him to walk out of the office or whatever. What did that signify to us? And what did you see in that?
That's another one of the chiefs being put back on the land.
All right.
He a good example of what I'm talking about, knowing your allies versus knowing your enemies.
Right.
Leonard Peltier,
he look Hispanic, but he native,
Right.
and he been fighting just as hard as any other liberation fighter in our community against the same enemy.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
We forget 1975, the feds full-fledged raided the reservation, had a shootout with the tribe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we be forgetting about that kind of stuff because we want what's ours, and we don't want to be short-stopped. But we can't cut our enemies off, I mean our allies off, and throw them in the pile with the enemy, because without them, you wouldn't have been successful.
Right.
You ever see
Right.
my man with Farrakhan say, if you walk into any mosque in America, first person,
Yes.
third person, fifth
Yeah.
person, you lay your hand on them, and you lay your hand on the Native American.
That's right. I want to say he was at a Navajo Nation when he was.
Yeah. He looked Hispanic.
True.
But
Yeah.
he ain't.
Yeah, I've seen that interview. Yeah.
And he's telling us not to fall for the slave bullshit.
Hmm. Yeah, it was deep what you pointed out with Harriet Tubman. That was real deep. Had to let that sink in. You know what I'm saying? Because I know the quote. That's a real skillful little twist on things right there. I could have freed a whole bunch more y'all, and they just know that it was
They
slaves.
gave us all these fictional heroes.
Right.
As long as we worshiping the fictional heroes as the actual people that was performing the function, we ain't gonna never investigate and find out who was the real people fighting for our freedom.
Mm.
They manufacture our heroes.
Mm.
So Tupac is more of a hero than fucking Al Sharpton.
Right.
He did more for us than Al Sharpton did.
A known informant. My
I'm
dad
just
tried to
saying.
send me like a little video because I didn't participate. Force. So he sent me this video. So I sent him back a picture, and it's snapshot of the article where he was working with the FBI. Dick Gregory goes into it, you know, and then the pictures that I believe he was a part when he went down to Tom Ray. They got pictures of him and Jesse Jackson walking down there with Malachi. You know what I mean? So
Look, lucky I wasn't down there. I told him, run them niggas out of here. Them niggas down here looking for information.
Yeah, man. The one like he would Dick Gregory says that on the balcony, that picture was staged. You know, how you gonna be sitting there pointing instead of I'm standing there next to somebody and they get popped, we gonna scramble. I'm scrambling. You know, I ain't gonna be in that picture. And everybody's pointing like that, you know.
All you gotta do is go back to Instagram and TikTok. Picture worth 1,000 words. These niggas posing for pictures, filming crimes, all kind of stuff for views. And it's the same thing back then. They wanted to look like they was doing some important work, and all the time they exposing themselves as the traitors.
Right. So, hey, man, I just thank you, man, for who you are, Chief. And it's amazing to watch all of this unfold. You know, and a lot of times I find myself not being in fear, uncertainty, and doubt because of, you know, our scholars on the land who have, you following the assignment to the T to educate yourself out of it, and us, bring us with you out of this condition. So thank you, my brother. That's a lot of damn information, books, you know. That you done got.
My mama had a conversation one time, and I told my mom, I don't mind being rich, but I don't want to be rich by myself.
Hmm.
She said, why you say that? I said, because when you rich by yourself, that's the loneliest place to be because you can't trust nobody.
Wow.
I say, but when you rich with a family, a whole team, y'all rich together, y'all can laugh and joke and let your guard down with each other.
That's right. That's
You
right.
can't do that if you get rich by yourself and you become an island of man in the midst of men. You can't do that because you're going to always have motherfuckers resentment and people looking to take what you got. You have to know that if you want to win, the best way to win is to bring many people across the finish line as possible with you.
That's right.
And that way that it'll be enough grateful people around you that the ungrateful won't even matter.
Wow.
And they're going to show themselves faster and more blatantly because the selfishness, the people that care, going to be like, get that selfish motherfucker away from the chief.
So it's better to be loved than feared. And that pose
No,
in Machiavelli.
no, that's some bullshit.
Okay.
It's
That's the
better,
question posed, though, right?
right? But the correct answer is it's better to be respected. Respect
Ah,
is a
right.
thin
Word,
line.
yeah, right. Wow, I like that. That's right, my man. Yeah, I like it. Okay, I'm listening.
So now, out of respect, they don't have to fear you. And from the side of the love, all they want to do is honor you because you're respectable.
All right.
Yeah.
They don't gotta feel you because they respect you, right? And the love,
And
the honor.
this is one of the things that we have to teach the boys. If you carry yourself in a respectable manner, you are least likely to be disrespected. People respect the respectable and they disrespect the disrespected. You got to know if you don't have the character, then you can't expect to produce the quality. Authenticity, yes. Yep, Kalila. Authenticity, be genuine. Don't fake it for nobody. Be who you is, loud and clear. You know, lead with love, but masters the throat punch. And don't forget. Sometimes you gotta fuck a motherfucker up to do what's right.
Push that snot box back. Yeah, yeah, I got that. I took that one. Yeah. That's right.
Just
That's right.
just because I love everybody don't mean I'm gonna carry my 45. Because everybody ain't gonna love me.
No.
I didn't already been proved that. Yeah. This is why they take discipline out the home, Kalila, because good character is taught at home first. And this is how you take that good character out in the world and you raise your status among the other tribes. If you ain't taught good character at home, when you go out to get your blessings from the other tribes across the land, you're going to get shot down. We don't want you to be no chief, nigga. You a rotten motherfucker.
Right? Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. Nope. Nah, man. You know. But the mentality, man, I never understood, like you say, what you told your mom, which was beautiful, man, is not to share. Like if I got some good candy, right, and you hear, I'm like, hey, Rod, man, you need to try a piece of this chocolate. It's delicious, man. You know what I'm saying? Or something, And now we both enjoying it together. You like, damn, Reese, this is some good ass chocolate. Where you get this from? We smiling and laughing that instead of I just want to eat all the chocolate my damn self. Man, get confirmation on it. Damn, yeah, I never never quite understood that frame of reference to be selfish.
But people generally are selfish with good shit.
How you mean?
If the food tastes good, they less likely to want to share it. It's a unique individual that is so good. Your food be so good, they be like, man, you got to taste this.
Yeah, this shit good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But you done think 1,000 times somebody come around, we'll give you some, but it's too good, stop eating.
Yeah, Nah, man, you can enjoy, you laugh, you know what I'm saying? Talk about it as a story to talk about with your friend later on, you know, or
If,
somebody.
if,
So,
if
yeah,
your
man.
woman got some good coochie, you don't want your homeboys around
Well,
her.
no, maybe that rule don't apply to everything.
You know, and they might
That'll
not
be
even be
yeah.
thinking about it like that, but you know how good it is, and you don't want them to have none.
Yeah, no, like I teach my son, man, you don't go around telling everybody about your woman and what you do. You know what I'm saying? My
And
daddy
that's a
taught me that.
two-way street too.
What's that now?
That's
Oh yeah, woman
real
too. My
women.
daughter.
Look,
I
real
tell
women
my daughter
don't
the
want to tell
same.
no. They don't want the other women to know if their man lay that thing down.
Yeah, showing pictures and stuff. No,
'Cause
you keep that. My
They
daddy
don't
taught me
want.
that.
They don't want to. They don't want that their girlfriend to be like, "Ooh, let me
Yeah,
go try."
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, so maybe yeah, that share thing does have a limit on some things.
It takes
Yeah, so
exception.
maybe
Look, it takes
so.
exceptional character to want to share what's good. They even go with money. People will lend you $20, but they won't give it to you. Fall out with you because you can't pay them back when they want you to. Normally,
Right.
they're not going to even ask for it back until they realize that they didn't spent all what they had. Now they got to say, "Oh, so and so owe me $20. Let me call them." Why you
Hmm.
ain't asking for it last week when y'all was standing there and you was showboating because you had got your little check and you wanted to buy everybody dinner and you seen him with that wad of money, but now both of y'all ain't got it. You mad because he ain't got it when you ain't got it. Look, my
Yeah,
old dude told me don't put good money on top of bad money. What that mean? That mean
don't
that
put
if
good
you
money.
if you
I'm
lend him
listening.
fucking $20 and he come back and he ain't paid you, you can't give him no money till he pay you back.
Mm,
Right? If you go to the
mm,
Bronx tell the old man told the youngsters about the guy that kept running from him about his $20, he said, let him have it.
yeah,
Because you just bought him out of your life for $20. You ain't got
$20.
to deal
Yeah,
with him anymore.
yeah. My dad pretty much gave it to me like that too. You know what I'm saying? But at the
Look,
same time,
Oprah gave me a jewel too. She say if you can afford to lend it to him, you can afford to give it to him. If you can't afford to
mhm,
give it to him, you can't afford to lend it to him.
mhm. Yeah, that's wise. Yeah, that's a jewel right there to carry and to live by.
Yeah.
You run into a lot less headache.
Like if somebody asks me to borrow some money, I
Yeah,
say you can have it. If you give it
true.
back, it's a blessing. But if you don't, I'm not gonna stress it.
Right.
Either I got it to give you. If I don't got it to give you, I don't have it to lend
Mm, mm.
you. And that's the number one reason why a lot of people fall out. That lending and
Yeah,
borrowing
true,
money.
true.
Don't give somebody something you can't stand to lose. Period.
Mm, mm.
If they ask you for $100 and you can afford to give them $100, give it to them. Don't lend it to them. You
Mm,
burn, you create bad relationships like that.
man, that's
We got
true
enough bad relationships as it is.
already. Wow. Yeah, that's part of them damn money magic right there. You
Yeah.
know, man, look at wow. Never looked
And
at it
you know the
like that.
irony. When gratitude and reciprocity kick in, if you gave somebody something that was in need because you had it, it's gonna come back to you in increments of 10. You
Yeah, me and my dad
don't
was
know
just
what
talking
it's
about
gonna look like when it come back, but you might be walking and give somebody $10 today, and then your cousin call you and say, "Hey man, I'm moving. I got an extra car, man. You want it?"
mm,
You know what I'm saying? Stuff like
mm,
that happens. But
mm.
because we've been taught to have this victim mentality, impoverished lack mentality, we won't open up the channels of reciprocity and gratitude that allows stuff that we put out to come back to us in increments.
Mm.
Selfishness.
Hey man, thank you for the jewels, man. I'm all ears, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna let
Hey,
you drop down, man. I'm gonna pull
no
somebody
doubt,
else
no
up. I'm
doubt.
probably gonna take two more
Peace,
before I wrap
Big
it up.
T. Hey, boom. Hey, you in there?
You know some shit, man. You know some shit.
Right up there with Doc. All right, Chief. Peace.
All right now. Gang God. Gang God. Gang come up. I was less a gold man founded China affected global economy. You ain't have to worry
What's
about
up,
that.
Chief?
What's going on with you, Chief?
Man, wow. I just sent my request, man. That's crazy. You all right?
Yeah, a lot of them don't be going through, man. A couple people went out and requested to come in a couple times. They ain't came in yet.
You want to know something, man? I'm gonna share this real quick before we even start. So I be Uber. I'm in Michigan. I'm in right now. I'm in Roseville. I be Ubering,
Mm-hmm.
right? Every time a Pontiac ride pop up, I try to take it. I'm like, I hope I bump into Chief.
Listen, inbox me. I'm right up the street from you.
For sure. Oh, I'm hip. I'm hip. I know. I'm hip. But man, that's crazy. I was just vibing with what you was talking about with the OG. I was just vibing with that, and I'm like, wow, they speaking right to me, because everything that you was saying, I'm going through. Like, fell out with two of my close friends. One, my brother, he was my foster brother. All over $25, bro.
Was your relation
25.
was your relationship with him more valuable than $25?
To me, it was, because what's money?
Okay, you gonna let that go?
It's the way people play you, though. You right though. And then I did try to like, bro, what's up with that? Because your word is your word. So when I call you and I mention something, you like, oh, I got you later on today. I'm like, dang, especially when I could use it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't rich, but I look out for people, because
But you know,
if I
but when you realize that you really couldn't afford to give it to him, it ain't his fault. You abused yourself and misused yourself.
trying to help
Yeah,
others,
and, and
that's my problem.
yeah,
I'm a Gemini, so it's like it's in me. Like I feel happy when I
but you
make
gotta
other
apply
people happy.
one rule, and Pac had to learn this too. Um, as a Gemini, y'all got that giving spirit. You always want to see everybody, but you got to take care of you first. You're not qualified to help nobody until you help you first. If you're not in the position where you can be lending people money that's gonna hurt you later on, you can't afford to lend it to them.
That's deep what you said. That key word or key words later on, because I be having it to where I can give it, but at that moment. But like you said, the later on when I need it back, you told me you was gonna pay me back Friday or whatever the case is. I needed that Friday or whatever. That was deep.
Mm-hmm. But why next time they say I'm gonna pay you back Friday, say you know what, I'm just gonna hold on to it till Friday.
Mm.
Because you put yourself in the adversarial position towards somebody you care about, risking the relationship to give them something you can't afford to let them have.
Okay. So if the relationship fall apart based on me saying I ain't got it or I can't give it, it ain't meant for me to be messing with them anyway, huh?
No, it's because then it becomes selfish agenda on their part. You have to know what your situation is. You can't help somebody from a losing position. You can't if you got a hole in your gas tank, you can't keep giving everybody a ride for $1 when it costs you 200 to fill it up and it's gonna run right back out anyway. You got to make sure your tank's secure before you start putting out. That way, when you don't care about it, it makes room for the reciprocity to kick in and to come back. You might not
It was
see
never
how
meant
it's
for
gonna
that.
come back, but don't worry about that part. The part you worry about is I'm in the position, it's not gonna hurt me. Yeah, I don't even want it back, dog. We ain't finna put our relationship through that struggle. It's not necessary. Yeah,
That's deep. I never heard that before. Like I never looked at situations from that perspective before until I just heard you speaking before I got on here.
yeah. It's
I'm wow.
them lessons my father taught me, man. This is why when I be teaching a lot of stuff, I be teaching stuff that I learned in my family first, and then I connect all of the dots with other information using the unified field theory. And it make me easier to assimilate the lessons that my parents gave me. And that takes me back to my mom used to always tell me, honor your mother and your father, and your days may be long on this earth.
you get wisdom from both sides. You mostly get knowledge from dad and wisdom from mama, but the knowledge from dad ties you back to mama's wisdom. So when I come on here and I tell people stuff like what I'm telling you now, you can't do that because you're setting yourself up for failure, and it's too much of a struggle as it is not to create adverse conditions that we don't have to create. Brandy, you bet you absolutely right. That's why we need the chiefs to walk the land, because I'm still needing my elders for proper guidance, and I know that the youth under me gonna need elders for proper guidance. And even when I make mistakes, because sometimes I might pronounce the wrong book that I got something out of or something, people be thinking I don't know what I'm talking about. But I got so much information to sift through that sometimes it don't always come out accurately. But if you listen to what I'm saying, you can research the subject matter of what I'm saying. The perspective I'm giving you is how I see what I've taken in by reading the historical narrative and seeing the results of what's playing on around me. And then, if you know what A, B, and C is, it's going to show you what D, E, and F is. But if you don't know what A, B, and C is, you just stuck at C trying to get to D.
Yeah. I've been aligning myself with like my purpose. I feel like it's through music, cause like I make some nice beats. My music, like I'm not rapping, what everybody else do. I don't even just rap. I consider myself a music artist because I paint beats with my voice.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like my calling is dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in music, whether it's either going to school and getting the full whatever the top degree in that, to like I know you can heal through music and stuff like that. I want to go as deep as that, not just making beats and entertainment purposes,
Mm-hmm.
but
So
it's naturally in me.
yeah, so this, as long as that's what you call following your heart's desire, right? We all have an artistic ability. Very few of us follow that as a means to develop our income or our lifestyle or anything. But once the ones of us that do is only focused on the money, they're not doing it for the love of the art. And they quality is going to always be lacking when they put it up against somebody who loved the art. Hey, Crystal.
We just witnessed that happen,
Mm-hmm.
huh? Man.
Love of the art gonna always outshine the love of the money.
That's
J. Cole.
I kind of already figured that though. Like I never been pressed about the money. I always, since I started doing music in 7th grade, I was like, good dope sell itself.
Yeah. And
So that
then,
was always my
yeah.
approach.
As a musician, you got tools of a magician in your hand when you making beats. You just don't know it yet. You
I learned that from Daylight.
you can program the song that every time it get a spin, it's contagious. So they got to share it by putting it in your lyrics. You can literally say that in the song and motherfuckers gonna share it. Especially if the quality match the arrogance.
Man, it kind of do, and it's like natural. I used to write, now I punch, and I master how I want to say certain stuff. I do like 15, 20 takes just to say one bar because I wanted to hit right. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then that's also the purpose of stacking.
You got multiple versions in
Late
there.
when you layer that track, it makes the voice richer and um, more. It stands out more. Hold on one second.
That's deep.
Somebody in the comments asked me about tarot cards. This is my Talisman Oracle deck. This is my crystal deck. The crystal deck is actually is the um it's like a collector card for a stone. They got all the crystals. Tell you the back, but you can use these in oracle readings. This is my gold deck. No,
I've been
this ain't
seeing
the
a lot of
gold deck. It's just another deck. I got a gold deck in here. This is an oracle deck. This is my gold deck. I like these bad boys. I read these. They were so potent.
man. I want to pick on something that I heard you say several times.
Mm-hmm.
You said the kids got it.
Yes.
I
You
believe it.
the youth got it, man. I can hear it in the new music that's coming out. They ain't talking about trap spot. They don't give a fuck about no trap spot. They don't care about no booty shaking. All they know is about this land. This is a training deck, tarot training deck. This is Egyptian deck.
They all work differently, like hit different aspects or whatever.
The energy is different for each deck. Look, these Trivial Pursuit cards. I know my tarot reads so out cold. I can use these cards, these regular cards from Trivial Pursuit, and I can do an oracle read from them.
From Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah. It's my universal wisdom oracle deck. Right now, I ain't got so good at them. It'd be spooky when I read them, right? I'd be shook.
You said that like last week. I seen you say that on something recently, like probably within a month time. I heard you say that you don't like messing with them like that because it was something dealing with that.
Yeah, that should be spooky accurate. Look, I can listen to a tarot reader and I can fill in the blanks and what they missing by listening to how they interpret the deck.
Only certain people could play with. Like you got to have a certain ability to be able to. I ain't gonna say play with them, but to read the energy from those cards, right?
The tarot cards are training tools for clairvoyance and clairaudience. So imagine that you wanted to develop your psychic abilities. You can use the tarot deck as the training tool to feel and read the energy. Once you use it for a while, like now, I can see the tarot cards. If I'm in tarot mode when I'm walking down the street, I can see the tarot cards play out in front of me.
Real time.
Mm-hmm.
That's fire.
So you know they read with regular decks too. I got a gold and silver regular deck for reading too.
So what regular deck mean?
Regular deck is a standard 52 card deck. Those are all lower arcana and court cards. There's no what they call major arcana in them. So you reading what's known as the pip cards.
Okay.
Love this deck though. Talisman Oracle.
That's your favorite one. That's top in the top five. That's number one.
I don't know if it's number one, but I love these bad boys. I like the art design.
Ooh.
And on the back, they got like all that the feel of them because they're not made out of paper.
Yeah.
And this is an oracle deck. It's not a standard tarot deck.
I'm gonna have to look all that up.
Yeah. And a lot of decks come with a mini booklet or guide to how to read, right? But you have to, once you get to the point where you can learn how to write your own interpretation method, that's when your skills gonna take off. That's when they blow up.
life might take me to that. The universe might lead me to doing that because I did my own birth chart.
I know how to do I read runes, oracle, tarot, and I read numerology, gematria. See, numerology is the meaning of the numbers.
That's what B Dale be doing, right?
Right. No, he be doing gematria. Gematria is the number code within any given thing. Everything on earth has a number code tied to it. No matter what we do, it's going to be numbers tied to it. All of the alphabets have numerical values. Different languages, the numerical value vary across languages. So you be able to do the gematria and know what the meaning of the numbers is, and it'll literally tell you something like direct.
For days, right? Since you on the numbers, for days, I keep catching my birthday. I keep catching 6:15. It's in the time though. It's only in the clock. Like I just randomly look up and it'd be 6:15.
Mm-hmm. That's 66. That's you rising up. 6 is man, 7 is perfected man. 66 is the man searching for his path. 666 is the man has found his path and he's looking to become a 7 now.
Wow. That's deep because I did my name too. I did my name. Kamal, it's an Arabic name. It means perfection or completeness. And it says something about it aligns with me searching for my purpose or whatever, right? Middle name Gabriel. That's what it said, God is my strength or something like that. And then it said messenger protector.
Mm-hmm.
Last name don't really matter because you know that came from you know where that came from.
It still matters.
Cottrell.
Mm-hmm. Cottrell is not a European name. You should look it up.
I looked it up. They didn't tell me. It didn't tell me much. I'm gonna look it up again. It didn't tell me much about Cottrell.
How you spell?
Kittrell.
You know what? That's probably why, because your family changed the name of it. Because I mean the spelling of it. Yeah, because the name Cottrell, Cottrell.
Okay, that's the original.
Yeah. And then you got variations: Kittle, literal, Cottrell, Buttrell, Littrell, Kettel, Cottrell. They say these are European surnames, but they're not saying what it means.
See, that's what happened with me.
Hold on. So it's tagged to a settlement in Europe called the Cottrell Settlement, which is located between Preston and Garstang in the county of Lancashire. The Domesday Book of 1086 lists this place as Catrihala. Yeah, so it's a lot of ways you can look that name up, but as it's given as Catrell from Cattrall, the CAT is the cat, TER is the terror earth, and the AL is the EL, which is the Moors of Europe.
My artist name, I did my artist name too, which is the name that you see, which is my Facebook name, right? And it's double meaning. So I just randomly made that name one day.
What is it?
And gain God, I made that one word, gain God.
Mm-hmm.
space coding, and I broke the got that name defined to me, and I'm like, bro, how do I keep doing this? Like I keep
I'm gonna take it a little further for you. Gang, G is the 7th letter, mean master. Ang is the avatar.
Okay.
So look at your rap name again. Chosen avatar, a god.
Man, the double meaning that I got was like a statement to the world. Gang God.
It is. Because that's a message that you want your music to carry with it. Look, my rap name is my real name, is the name that I gave myself. It's Morpheus Mysticus Magus. The name Morpheus, Morpheus, is an alchemically infused name. So if I would have stayed with the music, when you have 100,000 people saying more free us, more free us, right? And it's the whole alchemical breakdown. I had did a post on it some years ago, but the alchemical breakdown is to free us from the dirty Moors, to free us more than we were before when they came. We want to get back to liberation. So you put the code in the name. So when the people chant the name, they're empowering you to act on their behalf to give them liberation.
I feel that.
It made me when I was getting the name together, what made it so what made me do it that way is I was learning the power of sigils, and I was learning the power of mass groups of people channeling the energy frequency. So while I was doing that, and I was like, yeah. So if I do, because I got skills. So
I could believe it.
while I was sitting there putting my skills together, and I was trying to come up with a name, I said, I want something that if I could get thousands of people say it, it'd be tied to our liberation, right? And that's what made me pick the name Morpheus. As the
Great minds think alike.
outlaw name is Morpheus Hitler, the bitch nigga cleanser.
I was about to say something else. I forgot what I was about to say. It might come back to me. Man.
Yeah.
Dang, I don't be wanting to cut you off because I'll be needing that. Like this whole conversation, I need that, man. That just turned me up. I'm probably about to get up and make some music in a minute when we get off of here.
Yeah. Sigil is code. You write an app for the brain when you writing a sigil. That's a good science to learn. And then once you know how to write them, you can go use old sigils been charged by elders over a prolonged period of time. You can use them and even draw from the power of the ancients that way.
Oh, you just brought it back to me when you mentioned the ancients. That's crazy. So, I came to the conclusion that my spirit animal is the wolf, the lone wolf.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
Okay, I told you I make beats. So soon as you push play, you're gonna hear a wolf howl. I don't know what made me like that idea, but every beat I make, that's how it start off. You're gonna hear a wolf howling and going into the beat or whatever. I resonated more with it when I was presented with a selection of different animals that could have possibly been my spirit animal. And I looked at all of them, read like the reason why they felt that was a match for me, and I'm like, well, the only one I truly resonate with is the wolf, because before I had that conversation, I already was using the wolf for years in my beats. And then my mentality, like I love the idea of a pack, but for some reason, I don't know if I intimidate people. I don't know if my energy just, you know what I'm saying? Or I don't know what's the sign behind that, but friends, family. I'm isolated. Like, it wasn't by choice. Now it's becoming more by choice because I'm more wiser, and I just don't want to be around all the sleep talk and, you know, people paying attention to things that don't matter. People not caring about what they eat and their health and stuff like that. I care about this stuff because it affects you. But a lot of people, they hit me with the, oh, we gonna die anyway. Oh, you can't stop nothing. Which, you know what I'm saying?
So
I just
wait, pump the brakes right there. We gonna die anyway. Let's deal with that. We gonna die anyway, but that means you gotta stop living because you gonna die one day.
that'd be my point. Or stop fighting. You know what I'm saying? They content, they pacified the system, then pacified a lot of my family, for one, because I don't have not one that I could really talk to genuinely about like how we talking, or share them your videos and they really understand. The mindset I got right now, I feel like I can go to school for anything because I comprehend stuff. I never been like no dummy or nothing like that. I dropped out of school. I got my GED though on my own time while still being in the streets. I just woke up one morning like, you know what, let me go do this for my mama. You know what I'm saying? Went down there, passed the test, first try, flying colors. Passed every test, flying colors.
Mm-hmm. That's what I did in the county. I got my GED in the county. But I was sitting there and I was like, shit, I ain't got nothing else to do. Lady, Miss Morgan is her name. She was my Miss Freeman was her name.
Mm-hmm.
She was sitting up there and she was asking anybody, you know, she just started handing out homework, math paper, English papers. She was passing them out. She was assessing the grade level. She called me up there after I did some assignments. She said, "You want to take your GED?" I said, "I ain't never thought about it." She said, "I think you can pass it." I said, "You think I can pass it?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Let me do a couple more homework assignments to get in shape for it," and I tried. She said, "That's good
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to take about 2 weeks and then you'll be able to go down there and take it." I went down there and took it and passed it. That's my highest education. Oh, I got a couple certificates in culinary arts and janitorial services when I was locked up. But formal education, I got a GED. I call it my guerrilla educational degree because I had to use guerrilla tactics to self-educate. They didn't know what I was doing, but I did. Yeah.
You gotta, you gotta enlighten me on that guerrilla tactics.
Yeah. So the guerrilla tactics is the smaller force fighting the superior force need a different set of strategy and tactics as the superior force to fight the smaller force. So they resort to what's known as guerrilla warfare. And it's generally characterized as a small band of soldiers joining together to fight a superior force.
Okay.
My cousin said I was always smart in school anyway. Yeah, I was in special ed the whole time. Yeah,
Man, I needed
yeah,
this. I needed
yeah.
this.
Hey, I'm gonna let you drop down. I'm gonna take I think another caller or two, then I'm gonna call it a night.
For sure. I appreciate you to help me with so much, man.
For sure,
Thank you.
man. I appreciate being able to help.
Respect, Chief.
For sure. I'll catch you later.
Yep.
Sydney Bailey. I wouldn't go through. James Taylor. James, I'm trying to let you in.
Uncle Rod.
What's going on with you, T?
How you know I had a time in right quick? What's going on? How you doing today? You all right?
Man, I'm smooth, peaceful.
That
Loving my people.
Chat, how y'all doing, chat? Glad to see y'all checking out Uncle Rod, man. We're getting to feel good. Hey, Uncle Rod, I do got a question though this time.
Yes, sir.
Check this out, right? Now we about to do this on the air, right? The Neuralink thing. Do you think there's anybody in the conscious community that is Neuralink? Big question. I got smoke. I got smoke, I got smoke now.
Listen, I don't care. I don't care about them people in the conscious community.
I mean, I feel that. Definitely, I feel that. That's why I asked that question. Cause I got a couple I've been watching.
I'm gonna tell you,
and I've been
like
looking
this.
like,
I know at least one of them is an android.
And I already know one of them you talk about. Don't worry about it. I'm on point. I already know. I look at his eyes every time I look at him. I'm like, why this nigga eyes like that, dog? It don't make sense. And he's stuck on one thing and one. You know what I'm talking about, but we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But then okay, another question, right? Have you ever heard of the Infinite Terror Map?
Yeah. That came from a fictional novel written by a Mexican author in Spanish.
Nos Confunded, right? That's Nos Confunded.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about this? The custodians and what he was talking about on it, the Giants, the Anakim.
Listen,
it's fictional.
It's fictional. Listen, what I'm telling you. It's a fictional.
I'm listening.
It's a fictional novel. One of my elders, Dr. John Henry Clark, say a statement doesn't have to be true to carry some truth in it.
That's all I needed to hear, OG. Because I'm very much aware of my discernment. My discernment is great, like off the charts. I don't know what they call it, neuromancing, or I know it ain't necromancy. I know neuromancy is like kind of seeing into the future a little bit. I've been kind of listening to a couple of y'all talk about these things, and I've been studying like Priestess Set Raw. I've been listening to her. I've been listening to a couple of y'all now in the cut, and I've been hearing y'all, and it registers with me. You know, I showed you some of my I showed you some pictures of, so I be deep out there. Now, in Kentucky, my dad was in the Army. We were in Kentucky. I thought we was in Germany, but when I relayed the event back to my dad, he was sitting on the porch. He was like, nah, nigga, we was in Kentucky. I was like, oh, you were stationed in Kentucky. You're right. Okay. But we had these Roman columns in our house, in the living room. There was a hallway to the right that led to the bedrooms and everything. There was a TV on. We were watching the movie. My mom and dad were sitting behind me. When I looked at the TV one time, it went to snow. You know that and all that white noise sound. Okay, bam, it did that. I looked back at my mom and dad. It's like they were still watching TV. I looked down in the hallway. It was I don't know if it was really a lightning storm going on or anything, but a light flashed in the hallway, and I saw a figure crouching in the hallway. But it had horns on it. It had red eyes. I looked at it, looked back at my mom and dad, like, is these niggas seeing this shit? I'm a jit now. I'm like, I got to be at least 5, 6 years old, 7 maybe, because we in Kentucky. My brother was born. He's 2 years under me, so he was just born. So I take that back. I wasn't even that old. I was about like 5, 4. So I look back at my mom and dad, and I look back at the TV. It's still in snow, and I look back at the hallway. The nigga still sitting there like I ain't even bust a move yet. He's still sitting there just looking at me. I'm like, look at this nigga. I really didn't know how to take it back then, but I'm as a kid looking at this nigga down the hallway like, that motherfucker really sitting there. Now fast forward to me being in Orlando. I go to jail. I do my first like little like 6-month sentence or whatever. But I'm sitting in a room in a dorm in my room, and it's a 3-man cell. One bunk on the wall ain't got nothing underneath it. The other 2 bunks is a bunk bed. The one on the wall that didn't have a bunk under it, bro, this motherfucker in my room again. But you know how you get that feeling like something holding you down while you're awake, but you can't breathe and shit? That nigga was doing that shit to me while I'm looking at him, but he was sitting on the other bed over there. I'm like, oh, hell. So I had a whole jinn in my room. Literally, I just thought about it. That's a jinn, ain't it?
No, that's the jinn. The interpretation of the jinn is totally misinterpreted, misrepresented, based on the doctrines and belief system of Muslims.
Oh, so I'm so tired. But go ahead though. So what was I do? What do you feel like I was looking at? Because it keep coming around me.
Yeah, it's called.
And I have a lot of people that I have a lot of people that walk around me and they see things standing by me. Not one thing. They see things standing by me.
Yeah,
And they don't even want to come around me sometimes.
that's what you
Not on a bad
describing
thing, like on my guardian type thing. Not on a bad stuff, but like on a guardian thing.
is, yeah. You describing what's commonly referred to as a familiar or familiar spirit. And they come to do a service on your behalf, but they can't do nothing until you give them instructions.
Understood.
And you
So
can
my mama
only
Jamaican.
you can
So
only give them instructions when you learn how to work the magic circle. They can't hear you until you open the magic circle.
which would be that thing the circle with the pentagram in the middle. Would I have to do? Well, is that what you mean, or something else?
That's it. That's the pentagram of Solomon.
I know it's a pentagram, so I know it ain't nothing bad. I know they plagiarize a lot of our stuff, but I'm just making sure that's what you meant. I just making sure.
I learned mine from a guy named Lion Milo Duquette.
Okay, now if I do one, do I do it right side up or upside down?
You have listen. You
When
have to
my
write.
face is facing, do my face point toward the top point of the star, or do it face toward the bottom, making it a Baphomet type thing?
Listen.
When I do that, go
when
ahead.
you first have to learn what you're doing first before you do it. Once you learn about the magic circle, how it works, how to activate the energy, you're gonna know that part.
Okay, gotcha. A lot of things I do now, I do notice listening to you. I'm gonna give some of the. I said what I said at first when I asked that question about the conscious community, but I have learned a whole fucking heap from y'all, bro. Y'all have unlocked so much in me, bro. Like, to the point I handle it, bro. The people be watching me handle the police and other oppressive figures, and they just be looking at me like they be thinking I'm the police. Cause I be doing them like, bro, how am I handling the police and I'm the police? That is weird, bro. I just don't play with their head because I know what's going on now. And that I ain't going for it. I'm old blood, bitch. So you know I'm tired of Mama Earth. And bitch, we ain't having that. I'm sorry for the cussing on Facebook and YouTube and all that. I hope y'all don't do nothing but dog raw about this because I'm gonna give y'all smoke. Don't mess with him because of me. I'm just saying, but anyway.
You know, I don't believe in being politically correct when the politics is all wrong.
I know. I ain't have a chance to roll up before I got on the phone with you. I didn't think I would catch you. I just grabbed a black right quick. But yeah, you know, I be talking to you and I ain't never really asked you no real question like that. But I did have a good question for you. I ain't want to come on here and just be like I usually do, just be getting on your nerves a little bit. I ain't want to get on your nerves a little bit today. I came with a little question. But that first question, I've been thinking about that and I've been trying to text you in comments and ask you that question. I texted on Young Elder before. Okay, bam. Another thing just came to my mind. Yo, I have so many questions to ask you because a lot of the things you talking about when you was breaking down the werewolf tribe or the werewolves and you was breaking down the vampires, I have a lot of, I don't know, have you ever, what do you think about the folk, the werewolf apocalypse folk, like Dungeons and Dragons? How real is that Dungeons and Dragons game compared to the reality of what was really going on and what entities exist that's in that game? Because a lot of those entities exist, and I'm noticing they're talking about them a lot more, and I know they come out of Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm like, y'all acting like this is just a game, though, you know?
I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, so if I tell you something about that game, I'll be making it up as I go.
All right. I'm gonna do it like this: the werewolf apocalypse. Remember how you were talking about the people that wore the wolves?
Yeah,
wore the pelt.
yeah.
Okay. Now,
They
could there
told the
possibly
story
have?
in Twilight, the movie Twilight.
Yeah, I heard you talk about that last time we talked about it.
Yeah, they just changed
Okay.
all of the faces to pale faces, but it's the same story. Some European blood sucking niggas came over here, and the niggas that was wearing the wolf belt was fighting.
That right there, what you just said, OG. The blood sucking vampire. Did they come from over the ice walls?
No, they came from right over there where Vlad the Impaler from. It was a Moorish stronghold. Vlad the Impaler wasn't a pale face. He darker than me.
I know that much. I know that much. Ooh, speaking of Vlad the Impaler, that armor he wore, that red dragon armor. Speaking of knights and those armors, were they harnessing atmospheric energy in those swords like Excalibur and stuff like that with free energy back in the days through Tartarian and all that?
Not from the armor they was wearing, but they was harnessing free energy all the way up until that last Anunnaki war. We haven't used free energy in a couple thousand years now.
Okay.
Not
So
globally.
how many of our Catholic? How many of these buildings do you think they took all the free energy off these like Catholic cathedrals and all that stuff already?
They scrapped out all the copper. Really son of a bitches.
And then they had us goddamn going and stealing AC vents and shit, taking the copper out, bringing it to them.
Yeah, then we had a lot of them had either gold. They had gold and silver dip orbs that sit on top of the buildings that they melted all that shit down.
Did I tell you about the time I had? Go ahead, do it.
Yeah,
what you were saying?
One of them orbs could have been 500 pounds easy.
Really?
In gold or silver, pure. None of that old 10 karat shit. We talking 24 karat gold.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. One of my homeboys, he worked at Levi's, right? He found a pendant, and it's like somebody gave him the right to go through their jewelry and get something what he wanted. The man grabbed a pendant and showed it to me today, bro. Why I got the Mayan sun symbol all over with all type of hieroglyphs around it? I'm like, bro, where did you find? And it's pure silver. And he's a moon baby, so he's like, bro, this. I'm like, bro, that's your ancestors calling you, bro. They just brought that to you out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, that happened to us around this time. A lot of people get mysterious gifts, and many of them either discard them because they look at it as something trivial.
Hold on, Rod. Hold on. Let me start.
Every single day, bro.
I got you on every day out here on the street, bro.
Jesus, bro. I hear your voice
don't
every
put that on Jesus,
single
boy.
day.
Don't do that.
For
bro,
real.
Don't do that, boy. I'm talking about Jesus. Boy, don't do that. We like that over here.
Man, I hear this man's voice every day. When you said something just then, I was like, bro, is that bro?
He like, yeah. hey, Ron, you in the going crazy. You don't even know I got you out here like
hey, bro.
Every day.
I hear your voice every day, bro.
I made sure that.
And you talk that shit.
They love you out here, dog. People come to the bus stop where I sit at. I'm at the bus stop right now, chat. I'm on the block right now. This man get listened to every day because I don't play.
Bro, we listen to you every day, bro.
And I make sure they hear the right shit. I make pretty much everything you say be A1 because I be telling them shit. You come on. Yes, this is Rod. This is him. This Chief Pontiac.
When I heard his voice, I was like, damn, they gotta be bro.
I got him on Americana Boulevard. Like, where Rod at?
Hey, bro.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell y'all this.
Hey,
listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this. If I had any ego left, that motherfucker be soup right now.
Yeah. Hey, bro, I listen to you every single day, bro. With
One thing about it, two things for sure, Uncle Rod. I got you, bro. I got you.
So
you got old
what city y'all in? Hey, what city y'all in?
I'm in Orlando, Florida, bro, on Americana Boulevard, Texas Ave. We on the block. We on Americana with 3 Ks. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
We outside.
That was ground zero of the motherfucking Gullah Wars.
That's why I knew it. I fucking knew it. Bro, all right, watch this. Let me break down this motherfucking goddamn esoteric shit on this block. We're on Americana Boulevard. Americana means cornerstone, right? Okay, I did this digging already. 5,400 blocks. Zeros don't exist. 5 plus 4 is 9. We're on a 9. We're at an intersection. The intersection, when you turn it sideways, turns into an X from a T. That marks the spot for treasure, don't it? Okay, look what you just told me. I've been trying to figure that out for the longest. That right there, what you just told me, this is a zero, mark 0 for one of the wars.
Ground zero of the Gullah War. And we had all those tribes. This is how they went backdoored us with the Lewis and Clark expedition. Remember, we coming as far away north as Alaska and Canada. We going south, and then we traveling east. This is why they keep trying to make y'all think we live in teepees. Those was campsites. Those was not the house.
Facts.
That wasn't home. We was traveling the war. And when we went south and east, Lewis and Clark went north and west, so that they can come behind us and declare all of the captains.
Like Superman, like the TV show Superman and Lois and Clark. You gonna make me go watch that all over again?
Lewis and Clark is they was explorers or
what they called it back then, surveyors
Grandma.
for the American government.
So that's what Superman was, a surveyor.
No, Superman Kal-El. Kali is Kali Ma. Superman is concealing the power of the Great Mother.
Really? Really?
Right. Her name is Kali Ma, but they call her Kali El.
But see, I know who Kali Ma is, but I ain't.
Yeah, that's why they call him Kal-El.
Hey, bro, I'm
They
subscribing to
call
you
him
tonight.
Kal-El.
He's
Listen, they
somebody
call it.
that was waiting for me to talk to you.
Yeah,
Bro, I'm
all you gotta do is inbox me.
phone.
You hear me, Rob?
But look,
Oh, can't see your face, but it's cool though. We still talking, baby. Ain't nothing stopping that. But yeah, though, I don't know. They might not like the questions I'm asking. You know, I'm very, very, very much traversing this stuff y'all
man,
be teaching on here.
Look, I don't give a fuck what them people like.
I don't either. That's why I fuck with
If
you.
you ask the question, I'm gonna give you the answers best of my ability.
Okay, so the Over the Ice Walls is a fiction. So the land of the Anakim, you know what I'm saying? So that's not, you know, that's not. So where the Anakim come from?
That's the Anunnaki. That's just another name from a similar language. They
Bam,
also
I got you. The Anunnaki thing, the Anu word. When you said some on one of the things of the Anasazi, how the Ani word is really Anu. So the Anasazi people of America is really tied to the bloodline of Anu.
right. So they tied to the royal families of the Anunnaki, and this is why the name. All Anunnaki see the Anu seat as the high seat.
Really?
So you look at the 12 tribes of the Earth tribes, the 12 daughters of Isis. Isis make 13.
Yeah.
Each one of them got a family in their respective territories. They need husbands now. This is why when you look at the human diversity, the haplogroup of the Y chromosome is what tells you the fatherland, and the mitochondrial lineage is an unbreakable lineage to the first mother. So it don't matter what bloodline they come from, the women gonna trace back to one woman.
Facts.
They call her Primordial Eve.
Primordial Eve.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, I be talking to Lilith. I've never talked to Eve. I be saying little things to Lilith. I say things to Tiamat. I say things,
Lilith is the dark mother. Lilith is another name for Kali Ma.
Really?
Yes. Same energy. She's in Egypt, she's Sekhmet.
I talked to Sekhmet. I talked to Sekhmet earlier. I've never talked to Sekhmet, but I heard you say something earlier, and I just went to talking to Sekhmet for no reason. And I actually felt something come over my crown when I said something about Sekhmet, because it's like I be feeding off her energy when these oppressors be playing. It's like I feed right off her energy and get right on their neck. Them people be tucking their tail and sliding, boy. I don't play with them people. The Chevron deference overturned. What y'all doing here? Why y'all over here? Who y'all is? Or who you? I ain't African American, that's for sure. I'm a whole Indian, but I'm an Arawak and goddamn the whole Iroquois Confederation. My bloodline run through all that. So what do y'all really want to do? See, I done did a lot of digging.
You ain't got to listen.
What y'all said, the things y'all been saying, I've been doing a lot. Like I told you, my last name Taylor. Remember you were talking about the Taylor priesthood?
Yeah.
I was like, that's why our family dresses so nice. That Taylor gang thing Khalifa came up with.
Yeah.
I was like, dang, we got that's all like our family crest. We're tailor made. That's our family crest. My grandma had 22 kids. You feel what I'm saying? My grandma come from a them bloodline where they were doing all that back then. Had what you call the second wife thing? Like had a housewife and you had you know what I'm saying? The real I forgot how they say it.
Concubines.
Huh?
About the concubines or the harem?
Basically, yeah. Basically, yeah. My granddaddy's name was Lucius. His son name was Lucius. His son name was Lucius. I'm like, where all these Lucifers coming from?
The ones that carrying the light. See, that's
okay.
That's the same as naming your boy Sonny Boy.
All right. Now this is what my dad did, right? My dad had me, right? I was a junior. I'm a junior still, but he changed his name from what mine was to JD. He just gave himself initials. What do you think that was? What you think that was about? Like
you gotta ask him. He can tell you better than me.
Oh, okay. I was just checking. I was just saying if it was a spiritual aspect to it. I can
it's always when the name changes, it's always tied to some kind of spiritual change in the individual's life. We don't change our name just to be changing our name. We changing our name to
Made
represent
room.
our
He
new
made
development and our new path that we pursuing.
he made room. He made room for me spiritually. I think I thought about that a lot. But yeah, I kind of got because he Army. He been in the Army since he left out of high school. Back in the days and shit. Out of orange groves and the watermelon tossing fields and shit like that.
Yeah.
So he kind of I told him I had to tell him I'm like, Dad, I know they broke your mind. A lot of the things that I'm saying, I know you took an oath, so you won't be able to elaborate on certain things. But don't tell me you already knew what I'm telling you. And I'm
That
like, why
don't
you didn't
apply to
tell
you.
me,
Listen, if he's in the Masonic order and he's under an oath, it's his blood son asking for the truth. He have to tell it to him. It's the only
I ain't
way to
gonna lie.
get it. It's the
He
only
gave
way
me my
around their
flower.
contract.
Really? Okay. So it can't be nobody else, but it could be the first one.
He can any one of his children that's birthed from his loins ask him a question and he know the truth. He got to tell y'all.
Really?
He
Okay.
can't mislead his own family. He can only mislead outsiders, people that's not in his immediate family. He can tell
Right.
your cousin and your auntie a bald-faced fucking lie, but he can't tell his children or his wife a bald-faced lie. He's not permitted to.
Got you. Got
That-
you.
That's how
Now
you
I have.
call. That's how you keep him upright.
All right. Check this out. Right. I'm gonna throw this at you right quick. Right. All right. I've been doing my thing. I in the streets or whatever. But the mother of my child, I ain't gonna call her my baby mama. I'm calling her the mother of my child. Is coming down here to take me out. Basically, she told me I've been out here too long. I need to go get some rest. Even though I know what she mean, I don't really need no rest, but I know what she mean though. Like, you feel me? And it's like, okay, bam. I got my sister named Jasmine, the mother of my child named Jasmine, and the one I talked to named Jasmine. What does that mean, bro? That's 3 Jasmines, bro, and them flowers. So what does that mean?
You got your
If you could tell.
flowers. Right? Listen. You ever hear somebody say, "Give me my flowers while I'm living"?
Say again.
You ever hear somebody say, "Give me my flowers while I'm living"?
Uh, no, I've never heard that. I'll take that back.
So
No.
the term is representative of people send flowers to the dead. And that's something my mom used to always say too. She said, "I don't want flowers when I'm dead. I want my flowers when I'm living. I know how to make them grow."
Oh my God, I just caught on what you're saying, bro.
You
I'm
ain't have
getting
to
them
wait.
right now while I'm not.
Yeah, you don't got to wait till you die. I got a niece named Jasmine too.
That's
She
crazy, and
got.
I fought with you real hard. That's 4 Jasmine. That's Mother Earth thing right there.
Yeah.
That's that
Hey,
four.
I'm gonna let you drop down. I'm gonna take one more caller, then I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm starting to wear
No
down
problem,
now.
brother. We've been
All
going in. I got you. Now I'm sorry,
right.
chat, everybody else. Hope
You
y'all.
good, player? You good? You good, JT?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you tomorrow or something. You already know how I do.
All right.
All right, bro. Love.
All right. Peace.
Check.
Okay. Hopefully, I can get a sister up here. Sydney Bailey, is you still trying to come up, sweetie?
What's up, y'all?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. What's on your mind? What you want to talk about?
Ooh, I ain't even gonna lie. I've been sitting here so long, I ain't even think you was gonna call on me.
What?
I got a couple of things. I could say that I want to start with I had DM you on Instagram a while ago about I was asking you about just stuff with the matriarch because I was watching a couple of videos and after I actually DM you and you pointed me back to myself, I was like, okay, um, we're gonna see where this goes. So instantly, my mom, okay, so
Wait,
my
wait, wait,
mom's,
wait, 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 wait. I need you to do me a favor.
yeah,
I need you to take a deep breath
yeah,
and let it out slow. Relax.
okay,
Just relax.
okay. So my mom's house, I had realized that it's like a major altar. and that this whole time it was communicating to me. And so I used to feel like I was going crazy in this house. And then um as I started, she likes to collect local stuff.
This your
And
mom, right? Okay,
yeah, my mom.
I make sure I'm on the same page.
Yeah, my mom, she is Caucasian. And
She said your
so
mom though, ain't she?
yeah,
Okay. That
yeah.
ain't gonna stop her from being your mom, is it?
No.
Okay, so we don't even have to add that into the conversation because
Oh,
we're in a no racist zone over here.
okay. Okay. So basically, she likes to collect local stuff like books, art, and there's just a lot of she likes to collect a lot of valuables from like just different generations.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of like my grandma's paintings and stuff, and there's murals on the walls, and there's a lot of symbolism within the house. And so I I started realizing that the house was communicating to me whenever I was trying to go to like different elders in the family and asking about like my dad's side, just to try to figure out more about my bloodline. And nobody knew anything. So I was like, okay. And then when I realized that her house was communicating to me by me just being curious and looking at some of the books that she had in the house, I started looking up like different last names. And I I came to find out that this land that she lives on, like it was in the family before they moved here. And I didn't know how that had happened because like my mom, she didn't know, but she's really deep into like genealogy. And she thought I was lying. I'm like, no, ma,
Was it
apparently
the
our
land? Was the land in the family from your mother's side or father's side?
mother.
Okay, keep going.
So meanwhile, previous well, before I had even came into all of this information, I hadn't watched that many of your videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I had always heard some from when my fiance was listening to your videos. So like every time he was listening to you, I was like, I really don't know what he's talking about. And um but then I started digging within like Family Search, and all these family books started coming up, and I started being called to study the land, like as far as just locally. I started realizing that whenever I was traveling the land, I was always being called to look at like the historical landmark signs and Googling like last names and just reading up on that information. And then I would always put the last names into Family Search to see if they connected to my tree. And
Mm-hmm.
like all these major plantations, they started connecting to my trees. And I was just like, I don't think I was ready for this.
Can I ask you a question? How far
Yeah.
back in your bloodline do your mother line go over here? The oldest
Um,
person you remember, or the oldest, furthest back you got an ancestor that you know was on the land that you own. How far back do they go? What years does they on the scene?
ooh. Um, I'm early like
Your mama
1700s.
passing.
She what?
She passing.
She's passing?
She's passing. She ain't white. She ain't Caucasian. She passing.
What does that mean?
Pale faces
I'm
didn't come in here to get land into the 1800s. You in the 1700s. She passed. She ain't who she thinks she is.
She's really stuck on ancestry most of her days.
If you go
Um,
back, if she thinks she's European, and she go back to the 1700s, she's passing for white. She ain't pale face. She's passing. She might not even be aware.
I don't think she would be aware.
But when that land from the 1700s is tied to the bloodline, One, when it's time to get everything back, she got to find her way back to the homeland where her tribe from. This how you end back up on the land that she used to own, your bloodline used to own. She's passing. She's not what she looked like. One drop of blood.
That would make a lot of sense. She's very unaware though.
Yeah, most
I
of them are. A lot of the celebrity offspring don't know they mulattoes. Octroons, quadroons, mestizos, all those admixture terms for having some original blood, but it's mixed in with some outsider blood. And then they move from the south to the north in order to integrate into what we call white America. And they passed so that they didn't have to go through the struggles of the oppression of the darker skins who was fighting this contra war. Everybody wanted to get away from us while we was fighting this war because then nobody wanted to harm or interfere. So they tried to keep us isolated with ourselves to educate ourselves out of the condition.
That's interesting.
All you got to do is watch your family dance.
Oh, she can't dance.
She might not be able to, but what about your cousins?
No.
You probably hadn't paid no attention.
Um,
And I'm gonna tell you something else: the booty don't lie.
no booty. No booty. They even call it by the last name. They say no booty.
Yeah, but it's a lot of us that integrated into what we call today white society to escape the oppression of what we call white supremacy, where they was preferencing, they was using the skin color to block us out of all of the institutions. This is how we had to fight to be a doctor. We got to fight to be a lawyer. We got to fight to be a banker. We got to fight to be an accountant. We got to fight to be a pharmacist. Why are we doing all this damn fighting? Right? Just to be a regular person doing a job that we feel like we love. Most of these people that you think is Caucasian, especially in the celebrity inverted circle, a lot of them was passing. This is what the whole goal of the Oscars was. Oscar was a brother. Everybody keeps saying, well, why is Oscar a black man, but they don't want to give a black man the Oscar? They only want to get a black man passing for white the Oscar if he can pull off the role, and you never figure out that the only reason why he had all that talent because he was passing.
So what you're saying to me, I'm gonna react just so I can make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying. You're saying that when you're saying passing, you're saying that maybe, or not even maybe, you're saying that.
They look Caucasian, but they not Caucasian. They got some blood that's from darkies. Like
So is that why she ended up having me? I'm the only one.
could be. She probably had you because she needed melanated hair.
I mean, that would make sense. I'm the only one.
Are you the oldest?
I am not the oldest, but I'm not the youngest.
In order of number, which position do you fall?
On her side?
Are your siblings from your mother first?
Okay, so from my mom, I have a younger sister, then there's me, and then I have an older brother and an older sister.
So from your mom, you fall in the third position. Where do you fall on the father's side?
I have a baby brother, another smaller brother, then there's me, and then I have and then there's me, and then I have a sister that was apparently in the womb at the same time, so we're like very, very like almost not even a year apart, and then I have an older brother.
Okay, so on your father's side, you also take the third position, right? Okay, that's 33. So Masonic Master key number. So you can three on the left, three on the right, 6 in the middle. It's all coded.
Yeah.
The 6 in the middle is the G in the middle of the compass in the square. In reference to the female, she is the heir. You are heir on your mother and your fatherland.
Ooh.
That's why you fell in the third position on both in order for you to get the master knock, 33 off
Mm-hmm.
both sides, 3 off left and 3 off the right. That's to keep you bumped straight up the middle.
Yeah, her house started talking to me, and I start like even all the way down to like the paintings on the walls. I was like, "Ma, you ever, just asking questions like, Ma, you know whose house this is?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, so like all this stuff, like you're so deep into like the genealogy, but like I was the only one being guided down a certain line that was tied to this house and this land, and yeah, it was just all coming to me, and nobody else had any interest in looking in that direction.
Did you see the beginning of this video when I first started and I was talking about the heirs property?
I did.
So this is you in that discussion,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the the land was passed down traditionally among the tribes on the motherland. It was not passed down on the fatherland. The father was the one who took care of the land, governed the land, and made sure that everything on the land was in good working order so that Big Mama can focus on the daughters and the grandbabies and the nieces and the nephews. You got it from both sides. So you're a Y chromosome daddy girl heir, and you are X chromosome mitochondrial birthright heir.
Oh wow, that's that's very interesting.
That's what a lot of this stuff that you see going on, and a lot of people don't understand that before you can get back to your original culture, you have to identify who you are. Part of
Mm-hmm.
you identifying who you are is trying to trace your lineage. Trying to trace your lineage is going to take you to a plot of land every time if you're from the land.
It
If you trace
has
if you trace your lineage and it start taking you across the water, you ain't from over here.
right.
But when you trace your lineage and they keep digging you deeper into the south,
That
deeper into where the
I'm in South Carolina.
yeah, it's a lot of it was going on in the Carolinas and Georgia too, and
Yeah.
more than probably the only other place where they had a lot of people passing that mass migrated north was out of Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the ones in Louisiana, they Creole, and you tell them they Caucasian or white, they something to whoop you.
Good God. Yeah, I didn't know my biological father until I was 18. Um, And when I found out who my biological father was, I had realized because I'm a musician as well. I sing, and I came in. My dad, he bought my first CD, and I didn't even know he was my dad. And I just took pictures with everybody who ended up supporting the song. And whenever I showed up to take the picture with him, there was a family reunion going on, and I ended up taking a picture with everybody who was around him, and I didn't even realize like I was taking a picture with my sister, my brother, my aunt, my dad, and like it was just so divine. So like years later, whenever I was finally told who my dad was, I was like, wow, and he's also a musician, so like it just came through genetically, and yeah, it just
So how long after you had took the picture did you figure out that they was the people in the picture?
um like a year later.
And how did you feel knowing that you had been standing that close to blood family and didn't even know it?
I ain't gonna lie, I felt betrayed. I was like, that's crazy. Like, y'all really played me.
Did your dad know who you was?
Um, I would say yes. He says no.
There's a possibility he didn't know because you remember
You
you
can't
hadn't seen him
you
in
can't deny this. You can't deny this. Everywhere I go now that people know, everywhere I go, like I have all these
Look just
elders,
like
like
your daddy.
people I've never met. They're like, "You gotta be Derek's daughter," and I'm like, "Who are you?" Like, like the elders,
They
the
always
elders are
had
like,
that. They always had that sight. That's how. When we used to have a new baby be born, we
mm,
had used to have. You know what they call a baby shower now?
yeah,
They never had them before the baby was born in our culture.
mm,
In our culture, the baby shower was it'd be about 90 old ladies in there from different parts of the family passing that baby around, and they gonna tell you exactly which ancestor they was. This was Uncle Charlie. Remember Uncle Charlie had this mark on his foot right here, the same mark. That's Uncle Charlie, girl. You can't tell me this ain't Uncle Charlie. I know Uncle Charlie when I see him. Look at he got the same little slant to his smile. Them old ladies know. They
yes,
they
they
know,
do.
and they don't. They used to didn't miss.
See, and I was trying to ask questions. I tried to ask my grandma because apparently my grandma she sang too, and I'm like, Grandma, I never even heard your music. She was like, Yeah, I used to be in the band with the family. I'm like, Oh yeah, I need to hear that, okay? And she was just like, but when I'm asking about, because I'm trying to figure out which ancestor, and nobody know nothing, and I'm like, but y'all got like photo albums and stuff like that. I'm like, why don't nobody like not why don't nobody know, but like I can't even say that I won't even figure this out because everything else has come so divinely and I just have to allow it to come through. But I felt like at first I was trying to force it, and then I wasn't finding out anything about my dad's side, and then all this stuff hit from my mom's side, and I was like, oh my god, like this just confirmed everything that I ever heard from Rod. Like y'all, he out here giving these receipts because when I tell you them family books is not playing, they not playing. Like they very detailed, they're very very detailed, and they was giving out land. They was giving out land. They was taking it and they was giving it away.
Yeah, that was when they was replacing us.
It's crazy when I was looking at like all these deeds and land grants. I was just like, that's a lot of land.
Yeah, well, we had a lot. We they,
I know.
we didn't mind sharing either. It's the problem is that the people we shared with was greedy.
Right.
We not greedy. We don't mind sharing, but we ain't finna share with nobody that's gonna try to take everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I felt that.
So let me tell you a little something about um, old houses. You, your mom called back. You probably had an ancestor probably lived in that house. You know how old the house you
My
live in is,
grandmother.
right? And
My
she
grandmother,
that
I had a near death experience in 2015 and I got a feather tattoo. That was my first tattoo. I got it on my stomach. And that's because with my near death experience, I had
wait, wait. I missed something. Back up. The tattoo. Tell me about the tattoo again.
so um so before I got the tattoo, I had a near death experience.
Mm-hmm.
I crashed in ATV and I had a seatbelt on, so I didn't like fly off or anything, but I had to walk a half a mile bleeding out in like fresh cut forest because I was supervising my uncle while he was cutting down trees for a new development. And I wasn't supposed to be on it anyway because I had flip flops on, but it lost control and flipped. And I took my seatbelt off. I turned it off. I got up and I had realized that I broke my ulna, my radius, and I severed my main artery. So my arm was practically dangling. Um, and I had to walk a half a mile, um, bleeding out, and I blacked out. I felt like something had lifted me. Um, Everything went black. And after a while, I guess, of walking unconsciously, whatever happened, I came back to reality and I was closer to my uncle and I got his attention. He came over and he helped me, but he came, he came to me and it's like he was trying to talk to me over the machine. He couldn't hear me. And he was like, it was like he knew what to do. He came over, he put a tourniquet on me, and he got me to the hospital. All this, just insane stuff was happening. But there were these feathers that my mom said were following me. She said there were feathers in the hospital. There were feathers at the scene. There were all these feathers that were, communicating. And I ended up getting a feather tattoo because I felt like it was my grandma. I felt like my grandma lifted me in that time. When she was living, she was very in tune, and she did a lot with like agriculture. This is my mom's mom. She did a lot with just agricultural land stuff. She did stuff with grants. She was very gifted. She was an artist. She did painting. Um, she was very, very in tune. And like she even went to, she even became, she even became a mother of like this Black church. Um, and she was like the only white person in there. And my mom said that she became that for me to support
Mm-hmm.
me. Um, so I was in that church and stuff. And so just to sum it up, I had ended up getting this tattoo to symbolize for my grandma. And then, as I just started doing more digging with spirituality work and stuff, I just saw the connection with the feather and chiefs, and I was just like, oh, maybe I was a chief. I don't know. I don't
Okay,
know.
so let me
I don't
first. I
know.
gotta tell
I
you
don't
this
know.
part. Was was your mother's mother living when you was born?
She was.
How old was you when she crossed over?
She passed away in 2009. Um, I was I was like 11. That's my life path number.
11 mean initiate. When you had children, your grandmama coming back to you.
She she d- she did. She did do my daughter. My I have my daughter Nova. I have two daughters. My second daughter, her due date was on my grandmother's birthday.
Yeah. That's how they notify you. The
Yeah, that's
reason why
what and I felt
now
that. I felt that.
you knew it before I said something, but here's the thing that you probably didn't pay attention to. When your mother was forming in your grandmama womb,
Hmm.
you was in there as an egg. Let that sink in. That means that
Yeah.
from the mitochondrial bloodline, you have direct access to your grandmama, just like you got access to your mama.
That makes a lot of sense. I feel like she's the one who's been communicating to me while I've been in my mom's house.
Hmm. So when she want to come back, she's gonna pick the one you gonna know, because she probably was more standoff with you than you wanted her to be, because she felt like she would show you favoritism if she gave you too much attention. So she was trying to make the rest of the grandbabies not know that you the one she loved the most.
She did it in private. She did it in private. We always had that connection, but I didn't have like that many pictures with her.
Hmm. Well, take a lot of them with your babies, because she back.
I felt that. I felt that. And the second I found out my child's due date, I was like, wow. And then I was moving back into my mom's house, and I was like, which was my grandmother's house.
Hmm. How did you find out that that was your grandmother's house?
Because my grandma she lived in this house prior to her passing away. She passed away in this house.
Oh, okay, got you. Oh, yeah, that means that you are absolutely the heir she picked.
Yeah. I um I started realizing that, but my mom, she's like really big on like saying that she doesn't want to give me this house, but I'm the one who takes care of the house.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Just keep taking care of it. She had to tell you that so that you will feel like you always working for something. So
Yes.
you won't be so quick to give it up when you finally get it.
Oh man.
Yeah, your mama ain't no goddamn European. She doing too much tribal shit from this land that's cultural, that's not
popularly known except for people that's been in the culture that know
Yeah.
our culture. She's doing that shit out of automatic responses to stuff.
Hmm.
It's natural. That means she's naturally supposed to be here. That's why she ended up coming back from wherever she was to back to there, because she had to be on a certain part of the land when your grandmama come back through you, because she wanted to be on her land in her house.
Right. Right.
That's
Right.
that's that's some fucking ancestral communications if I ever seen it.
If you were to like see this house, um, there's so many like symbols and patterns and murals, and there's so much. And even
Those
my
are
fiance,
stories. Once you tune in to your big for your granny, you gonna know what all that stuff mean, and you ain't gonna know how the hell you know.
that's as far as I've gotten and how deep I've gotten with all of this stuff. I feel like that now.
Yeah. The,
I feel
the
like that
painting.
now.
Look, don't get scared when the paintings start coming to life for you. That shit
It
spooked the
already
shit out of me.
has.
That shit spooked the shit out of me when that shit started happening.
It
You
already
should be looking at
has.
a steel painting, and then the people in it start moving around. That's some spooky shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
And my fiance.
don't let it scare you, because if you don't scare you, you just start asking yourself, what do this mean? And then you'll start over time, you'll start automatically translating the meaning of the activity that you're viewing, what they call psychic phenomenon. You have to make yourself translate it, or else you won't never translate it. You just keep having spooky experiences with an open-ended meaning. Well, as soon
Hmm.
as you start asking yourself, what do this mean? What do this mean? Answers start coming to you, and all
That's
that stuff clears up.
that's exactly what happened. Whenever I DM'd you and you pointed me back to myself, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well, dang, well, what now? And then I started asking questions, and then all of a sudden the whole house started talking. And it came from going outside, grounding, and eating from the pear trees on the property. The pear trees, they started communicating to me, and I was like, oh snap, these trees are telling me to take care of them. And because nobody takes care of them, and they've been there forever, and they're self-sustainable, like nobody does anything, they grow every year, and they're so fruitful. Like this past season, the pear trees, um they were telling me to come and pick from certain trees. Like they were just dropping from the tree. And I'm like, oh wow, this is very, very interesting. You're telling me to come pick you. And I was like, wow, okay. So like, just being here, the pear trees, and not only just the pear trees, but there's a lot of oaks on this land. And those trees, they've been here forever, and they're always talking.
Listen, I, I went down to Florida for Emperor's coronation, and I stopped in Orlando to see Arisha Stone, right? Me and Arisha Stone go to this park. He say, come on, let's go show honors to the old ancestor tree right here. So I walk up to the tree, I put my hands on the tree, and then I hear the tree say, I know you ain't gonna stand there and not take your shoes off. You know I can't tell you what I need to tell you if you don't take your shoes off. So I started laughing. He said, "What you laughing at?" I said, "Damn, tree told me to take my shoes off." So I took my shoes
Okay.
off. I stood up. I stood on the roots of the tree, right? And he started showing me shit. He said, I'm an old guy. I've been around a while. I've seen some stuff. So I'm sitting there. I'm letting the tree talk to me, and I'm thinking, I like, if I try to tell anybody this, they think I need some fucking Prozac or some fucking Thorazine or something. So the tree telling me I got a message I need to send back to the trees up there by you, because I ain't been able to communicate with them in a while. I said, okay. So I go put my hands on the tree, and the tree talking to me. So the tree tell me, he said, you know what, y'all humans are really funny. And I'm like, what you mean? He said, they be laying up under the tree having sex like I can't see them. He didn't say having sex, he said fucking.
He said the human be laying up under the tree, they be getting it in, they be fucking and everything, doing all kind of depraved acts of sex, and they think I can't see him, and he just bust out laughing. Oh, Hardy, George Burns laugh, right? Old man laugh. And so I'm tripping, man. Then we got ready to leave. The uh the girl was out there with us. She asked me how old the tree was. I'm like, I don't know how old that tree is. You got to be at least 100 and some years old. The tree say, I'm not 100 and some years old. I'm 150 rings.
Yo, that tree said, "Don't walk up in my house with your shoes on."
He said, he said, I'm 150 rings. We don't count our age in years. We count our age in rings. I'm like, man,
Rings.
look,
Wow.
that tree had me dying laughing. So, right, I forget to go touch the tree when I get home, right? So I'll be
Mm-hmm.
home for about almost 2 weeks. So I'm laying in the bed smoking the blunt. I hear the tree say, so US ain't gonna let me talk to the trees up there by you, huh? I'm looking around the room like, who the fuck is that? He said, oh, you forgot about the tree in Florida already? I said, oh shit, I forgot. So I ran outside to this big ass tree by the driveway, right? I take my shoes off, stand on the roots, and as soon as my palms touch the tree, all the trees in the neighborhood bust out laughing. They cracking jokes like a mug. He telling me
Yo.
about the freaky humans under the trees and all kind of stuff. Man, I'm
That's
sitting here
crazy.
listening to all these trees laughing. I'm like, damn, this sounds like a Dave Chappelle show or something. All this goddamn giggling going on. Let me take my ass in the house. I'm in the house and this I hear the muffled laughs outside. All the trees in the neighborhood is getting the information from the tree in
Oh
Florida.
my gosh.
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
this shit is crazy.
No, like they be I listen, when I go and I sit by the pear trees, I swear they be telling me all the tea. All the
They,
tea. I'm like, so you
they
mean to
love to
tell
talk.
me?
Trees love to talk. People think you crazy, but the trees love to give you information about their area. And then they
Yes.
got a network where,
Yes.
really,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that shit had me dying laughing. I was like, these damn trees. And, I've been hearing animals talk since I was a baby. They used to call me Dr. Doolittle when I was little.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, the trees be telling, oh, the cats too. The cats too on this land.
oh, yeah.
They're like, they show up and they're coming to let you know this. They're showing up as different energies, and they're showing you like they come at divine times. Like they're like, oh, message. I have a message for you. Like they show up in divine times, and they're very protective. And
Especially women and young girls.
yes, yes, me and my children, they are very protective over us, and um, they they literally talk.
Yeah. Look,
They
when the
literally
women
talk.
start moving spirit energy, you can tell by watching the cats. They get restless. If you're in the house with a very powerful woman spiritually and she about to move some spirit energy, the cat is restless. He's jumping around like he has some what they call that stuff they get catnip.
Catnip, catnip. Yes, they be jumping off the
They be
roof.
acting just like they had catnip because you move in that spiritual energy and they get excited to see the women tapping back into that energy, that frequency, that love frequency energy. They get happy, so they start acting giddy. And it looked like
Mhm.
to the onlooker, the cat looked like he had catnip or something.
Yes, I be seeing that all the time. Now I want to show you something real quick.
I
Let me
can't
show
see
you
my
something.
screen.
You can't see
Mm,
nothing?
mm. I haven't seen their
What?
caller on here, but the people watching can see it.
Okay, well, um, maybe I can read you something.
Yeah.
So, um, I'm gonna show y'all though. So basically, my fiance, he had this job and he ended up moving over to this land with me. And um, he was working for a moving company, and he was moving like different plantation homes.
Mhm.
And he was always bringing home like different literature, and it was always something. It was always something he was bringing home, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I really wasn't believing a lot of this stuff until he started showing up with stuff, and I was like, oh, so they really do got the literature over there. They really do got a lot of stuff over there. So basically one day he came home and he had did a clear out, which he was just throwing out all the stuff that the owner didn't want in the house. He came home with a peace pipe, and on the peace pipe it had the feathers that was on the peace pipe was his life path number.
The
So
number of feathers, you mean?
yeah. So there's four feathers. There's four feathers on the top. I'm about to show it to y'all. So we got four feathers on the top, and it literally has something on it. So there's a ripped piece of note on a piece of leather, and it says, I'm gonna read it to y'all. So it says, peace pipe made with a elk antler bowl decorated with a brass glass and harebone something. Um, bear's glass, seed beads, brass bells, and turkey feathers. Ooh, it fell. Okay. Um, and then it had uh an arrow with it that has four feathers on the arrow.
Is the arrow attached to the pipe? I can't see it, so I gotta ask.
Is it attached to the pipe? No, it's not attached. No, it's not attached to the pipe, but it has the same material on it, like it goes to it.
Yeah, they was given in sets to the brave. Okay, so if I had a young guy that was about to be initiated to his training into chiefdom,
Mm-hmm.
I would give him a set, peace pipe, and a spear, war and peace. The set goes
Okay.
together. Sometimes they come in a handmade leather, like sheath, where both of them fit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they normally come with that. If that's missing, then you should probably have one made.
Okay.
And yeah,
Yeah,
hold
because
on to that.
that wasn't with it, but the arrow and the peace pipe was with it, and it's in really good condition. You can still read what it says.
Yeah. Is your fiance, is he a brother?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He you could speak with him. You follow him on Instagram as well. He makes music. Here. Peace, God.
Peace, God, peace.
How you
So look,
feeling today?
I'm feeling good. How about yourself?
I'm feeling wonderful, man. I appreciate you for asking.
Yeah. So that particular artifact you got,
Mm-hmm.
find you a Native American around in your area that makes crafts. When you show it to him, he might not charge you, but pay him anyway. If you have
Right.
to make up a price to pay him, but ask him to make you a sheath or carrying case for that, and tell him if he can, you want it out of either what was that elk that bone they use?
Yes.
Yeah, so you want to try to get it made out of elk hide if possible. If not, any kind of deer that's natural to the land, all of the deer is natural. The bison, the moose, you can, but you would prefer elk if you can get the elk hide.
You said, what is it called again?
It's a sheath. It's a carrying case for the pipe and the spear. They're supposed to be in the carrying case. If you go to a elder that makes those and you show it to him and tell him what you want it for, he might not charge you, but you still want to give him something. It's reciprocity.
Right.
That's cultural tradition. But once he make it, a whole bunch of stuff gonna open up for you, because when you properly take care of the ancestral artifact, you activate. Why did that come out twice? You activate the energy of the ancestors to open up the path in your life because you took care of the artifact.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it got four. Both of them have four feathers on it, and my life path number is a 4. And my fiance, well, we got 2 daughters, and then it's her and me, and our family that we created is
it's four of us, and each of us we all considered, or we all have all four elements. I'm an earth sign. My fiance is an air sign. My daughter, who who came back as her grandmother, she's a water sign, and my other daughter, our oldest daughter, she's a fire sign.
Mm-hmm. So I can take us back to earlier room. I was telling my man about his rap name, Gang. G is the seventh letter,
Yeah.
May. Ang is the avatar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got all of the tribes in one. So together, y'all can call the ether.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got your
That's,
three sisters.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. I'm gonna let y'all drop down. I might take one more before I go. I'm starting to wear down. So.
All right. We appreciate you for having us.
All right. Thank y'all for coming up.
Of course. Peace.
Okay, Stephanie, you up. Well, I'm waiting on her. Stephanie Bruscato. I supposed to be coming over to Truth Seekers, but I don't know what day they're gonna pick there. I haven't seen it in my messages yet. But Mike Penny asked for me to come back over there. Okay, so I'm not letting her up. Brandy.
All right, it actually worked.
Hey, how you doing?
Jeez. My front camera is broken, but I do have some questions.
Okay, let's see what we can do for you.
Okay, so you talked about, I had caught a live one time, and you were talking about hand talk, and you mentioned that the sisters was going to start doing things with their hands. Can you talk about that?
It's natural for us to use our hands in communication, but as the sisters tune in, they'll be able to do hand gestures from a distance and communicate, and don't nobody know what they're talking about but them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crutch to turning back on the hive mind of the matriarchs.
Okay.
It's just a step in the process. This is why what they call American Sign Language. That's how we used to talk across tribes that didn't speak the same language.
Yeah, because that's what I had started doing. Like, it's been like 2-3 years. I've been doing hand talking and just feeling the energy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And what I notice is that I have this connection with the birds. So when I go out and I ground and I meditate, like I can literally call the birds like to me, and they'll circle around. Doesn't matter what bird it is, like they all come. I can even whistle them in, or like a lot of people. It's been like a year. I started teaching myself how to play the guitar, and when I go outside and I play the guitar, like they come in and they on key with me while I'm playing the guitar.
Yeah, well, we got a connection with the birds to go back to the beginning of time. Do you ever feed them?
Oh, most definitely. I feed them. Sometimes, look, the birds be talking to me. I be trying to explain it to people, but it is what it is. You believe me or you don't. That's up to you. But
No,
when
it's
it
not.
comes to me,
Don't
but
explain it to people. Just tell them you love birds, and that's why you do it.
yeah, because they definitely come, and even that, like I went and got my feeder for my window, so I can feed them even while I'm in my office, and then they come in and they look in, and then I sing to a little bit, play the guitar for them a little bit, and it just be me and the bird. I actually kind of like the birds, the trees, and everything else more than the people nowadays. But
you know, in the Mississippi culture, you had blues singers. They wouldn't sing to nobody but the birds or the animals. They go out in the woods and be singing their heart out. People be like, "Who that singing? They sound so good," and then they come back act like they can't sing. Yeah,
I do that.
yeah, that's culturally ingrained in the genetics.
What about I don't know if I should even say this on it because Facebook is the snitch book, but I have this thing with my hands, right, where I can pull energy from or pull energy or calm energy and stuff like that. But I use that when I'm messing with when I'm studying Reiki, I think that's what it's called. But I can actually feel the energy when it shifts, when it's in the atmosphere. I can actually feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really, really heavy in my right hand.
Your right hand, you right-handed?
I am. Feel.
Yeah. Hands and at the soles of your feet.
Look, I've been studying
energies, and then they start focusing. You got a chakra in the palm. Yeah. So the same as receiving energy, and that's why this is to balance those two out.
I do that a lot.
Yeah. That's why the monks do this. They balancing their receiving and sending energies, and then they start focusing. You got a chakra in the palm of your hands and at the soles of your feet.
Look, I've been studying, man. Like I be studying, like for real.
Yeah.
Like just trying to make sure that I'm understanding like what's going on with me, because like it's something about my family. My family. You was talking to my sister earlier, Kimmy, when she was on here. That's when I jumped on. But it's something about my family, man. We some powerful beings, and I just love the fact that everybody is just waking up, and the babies are waking up, and it just hits my heart. I'm like Drill. Drill was like, I'm finna cry. I'm like, let it flow, baby. I'm finna cry too. I love it. You know, like I love it. But that's really all. I be sending you stuff too, because when I seen what was going on with the Lumbee tribe, I sent you something and I was like, man, peep this out, man. Peep this out. What they got going on, man. And you responded too, man. I was like, okay, so we all picking up on the same thing.
So, Nina Tuhawk, you don't gotta sell your house, sweetie. Just inbox me. We'll figure something out.
But I am definitely grateful, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I can just gratitude, y'all, because this is like the best time for us just to be us. It's just
you know,
to love
now
this skin that we in.
yeah. All of the BS is starting to fall by the wayside. It's just that you can't take process out of the equation because everything happens in the process. You got to follow the steps.
Yeah.
And
you got to be still.
Yeah, that's what we
Because I've been telling people, don't even respond to this junk, man. Just live in your truth and just vibe high. Don't even worry about the rest of that stuff. But I'd be so glad when the South rise. Boy, when the South rise,
that's going to be Mardi Gras from coast to coast. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call it. They call it the 250-year independence celebration, but it's really the freedom from 50 years of oppression from the Conjure War. See, this stuff's supposed to have been over before I was born. The problem was they couldn't nobody see that these niggas was infiltrating everything we do and tearing it down from the inside. So it looked like we can't get along and we can't work together. All of a sudden, all the time, job was to disrupt our unity and to tear down our community and make us want to give up in the fight so that we can let them have our birthright. You can't have it. We don't want to give it to you. You can't take it. It's not up for sale. It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Notice the agent, notice the principle. We want it all. We want everything blown to us. It just so happened that everything blown
Everything
up.
along this. Everything. Because I read a lot too, and I'm into genealogy. So I do the genealogy for my family. And then when you hit her with the master 33, I was like, yes, because that's my number. I'm a master 33. So I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I love it. I just love it. I ain't got no complaints. I'm just proud of everybody. I'm just like, by time. By time, everybody.
Yeah. So I see Brother Love put Black Hawk. All of the black clans, the Black Wolf, the Black Bear, the Black Eagle, the Black Panther, which is actually a Black Jaguar.
Mm-hmm. I seen that on one of my downloads too.
Yeah.
A lot of the times when I get some of my downloads, what I do is I try to because I dream walk too. So if I get a download, if I'm dream walking, I try to create it and put it into some type of AI form to try to create it, to share it, because it ain't gonna do no good for me holding it in. So I might as well share it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's also you taking it from the fourth dimension, putting it in the 2-dimension holographic world, which is
So
gonna
that
make it have to manifest in the 3D. So yeah.
But
All right,
I didn't want to hold you. I definitely want you to rest, because I
yeah,
know
I'm about
that
spent now. I'm about to wrap
you
it
are
up.
channeling and you are being drained with all these questions. I know that feeling. So
The questions don't bother me, but I'm just getting drained in general. Yeah, I'm about ready to go rustle me up some vittles now.
Well, Chief, thank you for letting me spend some time with you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome.
Gratitude.
I appreciate you coming up.
You're
I appreciate
so
every.
welcome. And look out for me in your inbox, man, because I'm always in your inbox with a question. I'm like, if anybody know anything, I need to go to the chief, because the chief gonna know. And I'll be so glad when we can get these chiefs to walk their
Hey,
lane.
listen, I just want one thing understood. I know a whole lot of shit, but I don't know everything.
Oh, but hey, but if you don't know, you know how to get the answer.
Yeah. All right, sweetie. I'm gonna talk to you later. I'm about to wrap this up.
Be blessed.
All right, you too. Appreciate y'all for stopping in. Hey, Zuri. Hey, Damon. Tamika. Kevin. Brother Love. I see y'all. All right, we're going to wrap this one up. I'm about to go in here and find me something to eat because I'm starting to get hungry. And I'll catch up with y'all later. Keep up the good work. You know what I'm saying? The South about to rise in y'all face. Babylon done failed. So the only thing left is for the matriarch to rise. And the top of the earth is the throne of the queen. And the queen's land is Australia, the top of the earth, not the bottom. Reorient yourself in order to get a proper orientation for the information and the dissemination of righteousness. And we back at this again. So I appreciate y'all for coming in. Much love. I just wanted to come spend some time with my peeps. And I'll catch y'all later.